30th, save more with the Autumn Sweet Savings Event. Buy any 2 qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances, like the Maytag Smart Electric Range with indoor grill, just $16.99, and save an extra $150. Buy 3 or more qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag appliances, and save an extra $300. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is another Sports Cage, 3 hours. Welcome, Saskatchewan. Going to be a fun show today because it's a Sharky Day. Sharky is in the studio, so
no pressure.
Could go a little sideways, could go a number of different directions. Colson and Curtis are here. And what do we have coming up in the next 3 hours for our friends at Access Communications on the Sports Cage? We got Rider practice audio. Who's going to be the running back this Saturday in Edmonton? We're going to hear what Coach Mace has to say when Dave Thomas poses that question to him. Sharky and I are going to talk some NHL news. Robin Lehner, he is not going to be playing for the Vegas Golden Knights this year. We're going to run that down. We got some hockey scores from last night, hockey in the area this evening. High school football, there are some games getting ready to fire up in about an hour time. We're going to run through those. Arash Madani is going to join us in hour 2. Arash wants to talk Blue Jays baseball. And I said, Arash, we can talk a little bit of Blue Jays baseball. Ugh. Because when we posed the question to our listeners, it's been crickets. So this year, it's just not a good year for the Jays. But we are going to talk some Jays with Arash. We're going to talk some CFL. And, of course, NFL. His Minnesota Vikings could move to 5-0 with a win this weekend. NASCAR report. I am so curious to find out where I am in the pool standings, where we are in NASCAR, even though I was down in Nashville, which is like NASCAR country last week. I don't know. I have no idea what's been going on. I haven't been paying attention. Dave Thomas is also joining us in hour 2. Hour 3, it is Glenn Suter Day. It's a Thursday, so Glenn's coming on. But halfway through hour 3, we got birthday boy from the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dell Duncan Busby. First career pro start last week, 7 catches. Nice little game for the fella from Vancouver, British Columbia. He's going to join us in hour 3 at around, let's call it around 5:30. Plus just, like I said, a whole bunch more going on, especially when Sharky is here. All right, so we haven't talked since, well, I don't know, it's been over a week now.
Over a week, yeah.
Riders,
almost 2 weeks.
Riders, Red Blacks on Saturday.
Yep.
Your assessment of the football game?
You know, really, I was really happy with the way the Riders played. A little disappointed they maybe didn't score some touchdowns when they had chances, but really happy with the way they played, especially on defense. I thought the defense did a great job. They took a lot of things away from Ottawa and were very, very successful. But they had some injuries as the course of the game went on. They lost Armstead. They put in the Canadian Bertrand Hudon in there. I thought did a great job. I thought he looked fantastic in that spot. The Sean Baines injury looked really bad on the screen. Like I thought. Yeah.
I didn't get to see it. I was listening to the game, and I was like, "Ooh, that doesn't sound good."
Yeah, when I was sitting in the stadium, I'm like, "Ooh, that didn't look good at all." So, but no, I was happy overall. I was impressed with the group, and it was one of those games where I don't think anybody had a big error. Right? Nobody did something that was really, really bad. Everybody kind of did their role, and it worked out well for them.
So the Rough Riders have just released their injury report. Like I said, Dave Thomas is going to come on in hour 2. It was a big day. It was a big day yesterday for Dave. He wasn't on the program because his youngest boy got his driver's license.
Oh boy!
No points taken off.
None.
No, I can't wait to talk to him about that. Maybe we got to remind me. We got to talk to him. Like the parallel parking. Do they still do that? I don't even know. Like things.
They should.
Kids are better athletes than we ever were in our day. They're better athletes. I don't think they're as smart as we were, even with all the technology. Sorry, Curtis.
They're not life smart. Yeah, they're technology smart.
And there's a lot of
you run all this, but
there's a lot of easy outs for kids these days. It's like, oh, you get to take that into the classroom. Well, how can you fail? Yeah. Like this is a take-home exam. What? So I'm wondering, the old driver's exams, is it easier now or harder? When did you take yours, Curtis? How many years ago was it? Probably not that many. What are you, 24?
25. I ended up taking my test when I was 17. I got it on my first go, but I had to take my secondary test because I got it in Alberta, and I failed that because I had bad habits for like 4 years.
What's a secondary test?
Oh, like a class 5. So like in Saskatchewan, you just get it after 2 years of clean driving. In Alberta, they changed it where you had to go and take another test. And I failed it, and I had to drive home in shame.
Yeah. So I remember a joke with some of my buddies. Speaking of shame, was I guess it was like the class clown, or like I was just the
I can see that.
I was the Larry David, and I would just say what everyone's thinking and be like, "Hey, why?" And teachers hated that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I remember they dared me, and I usually went through on dares. But I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. 16 years old, right? I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to smoke. I'm going to light up a dart
while you're while
doing it. And then I'm like, and I bailed. I didn't do it because I'm like, okay, 16 years old. Don't push your luck. And the thing is, I've never disclosed this, I think just to my family.
Oh, my goodness.
I needed to pass this exam because I had to get to Waskesiu for the junior lobstick. I had no other way to get there. Like, there was the bus option back in those days, but really I had no other way to get there. And it was like, if you fail this, what is the plan? Because you tee off in 36 hours. So I went, sorry out there, I'm telling this is an honest story. I went... And I said, I told that he's like, yeah, so first time taking it. I'm like, yeah, I really hope because I got an ailing mother and I have to go see her. And I gave him the sob story.
And he passed you.
Passed me.
You lion.
Was it wrong? Was that wrong?
Well, it's questionable.
But I did nail the parallel parking. That was flawless. And that's a huge deal. Like that's your first. Is that your first real taste of adolescent or borderline pressure?
I would think so. I think that's the biggest pressure at that stage of life, without a doubt.
Sweating
profusely.
Probably in my Varney T-shirt of some sort, or my.
Well, the car didn't have air conditioning when I did it, so sweating regardless.
Yeah. What kind of car did you do it in?
I can't remember.
Your driver's license.
It's a it's a long time ago that I went for my driver's test.
Man, you got to remember your car. I was in a...
might have been in my parents' station wagon. Yeah.
Chevy Corsica station wagon.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Might have been.
Depth perception in a station wagon seems like it'd be a little bit off. Like a half ton.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a half ton. I know that.
I've always had buddies that have lived in small towns.
And they take it out there.
And I'm like, where did you do it? And they're like, I don't know, just around town. I'm like, well, there's no lights. Like, there's no one-ways. There's nothing. It's like
there's barely a school zone, for God's sake.
Yeah. Okay. Angle park or straight park in front of the tavern waiting for Dad? What do you do? This is an angle parking outside of the Waka Hotel. Okay. Well, that's enough. Well, let's talk to Dave. Dave's probably listening right now. He's getting...
You got it first try. It took me more than one try.
And I think even without the sob story, I would have passed. Oh, yeah, but I'd... loaded up, put the clubs in the back, and on my way to play some golf.
You didn't finish the test to crack a beer or something right there in front of the...
No. Probably a tin of Skull rolling around somewhere back there in the Corsica. 6x9s blaring. Oh, those are good days. Yeah, those were good days. Okay, so...
Barney's going down memory lane here.
Oh, God, I love it.
Might start crying soon.
I love it. who is the running back? It's kind of what I'm going through in my head, and I'm like, when will they announce it? All that. So they just released.
I think it's Hickson.
The injury report. Armstead definitely out now.
Sean Bain Jr.'s out.
Sean Bain Jr.'s out. Baldonado's questionable. Brammer is out.
Didn't Brammer just come back? He did.
Brian Cox Jr. available. Who else we got here? Herdman Reed available. Frankie Hickson available.
He's playing. I don't think Ouellette's ready.
Dave Thomas, he asked Coach Mace front and center today who the running back will be Saturday.
Yeah, we'll probably lean on Frank. Just having the situation with Q. We'll see. We'll play it close to the vest, but I would say that for him not having a bunch of practices putting out there is not fair. But he also was able to play within his first week here, so I'd lean Frankie, but nothing's out of the equation yet.
Yeah, see, still keeping him close to the chest vest region.
I think Frankie's his healthiest running back is his biggest thing, right? He's going to go with the healthiest guy that he's got. That makes sense to me, and Ouellette is not ready.
What about Ratkovich?
Who?
The rat dog. Throw him in. A wrinkle.
Throw in Bertrand Hudon. He was great.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. There's no reason not to play him back there.
Go. He's a two-back set.
He's a big person. I was going to say something else, but he's a big person, and he takes up a lot of space. He's hard to bring down.
So that is, that kind of closes the book, I think, for the moment. I think we're going to see
got myself eliminated from the radio business there.
Frankie Hickson will be the running back, it looks like, for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. CJ Rivas, he's playing. We heard about that yesterday. And I just love it. Like, we talked about this a bunch yesterday, and just the spreading around and them having, I guess a number of different options when it comes to getting the ball. I'd like to ask Mark Mueller. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but you know what? He must love that game plan. I'm going to ask Del Duncan Busby about it when we have him on in hour 3, just about the receiving core. And it's like, do you got to be like always aware, like, because you don't know where Harris is throwing it, or are there still set plays?
Or where you're playing? Like, there's so many receivers hurt, banged up, out of the lineup.
It's nuts.
It is. This injured list is long.
Like I said yesterday.
Holy smokes!
I said yesterday, it seems like forever that some of these guys have played football for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Jamarcus Hardrick.
Like Dante Myers.
Yeah.
That's the one yesterday I said, right?
Yeah. Christian Albright. When did he last play?
Like, A.J. Ouellette, who knows? I guess
Blake Phillip got hurt like game 3, didn't he?
Well, Jamarcus Hardrick.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting year. Like, I don't remember a year with this many.
Especially offensive linemen.
No, I think it started with offensive line. I think we were like, our offensive line.
The illness has got to the rest of the group.
Who's playing offensive line? And now it's like, whoa, who's the running back? Yeah. Who's, all this? Do you have any stats? Did your stats guy talked about injuries? And the Riders, actually, maybe it's just because we're under the microscope here and we're in this bubble, but we're not, like, man games lost to injury. Has he had anything on that recently?
I asked him about it. He said he was going to wait until everyone was kind of more, and until every team was around more the same part in the schedule. Because when I asked him, was like week 10, and some teams had played 11 games, some teams had only played 10, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll wait, but it's been a few weeks now, so I'm still waiting to see on that one.
I think the odd thing to me is you look at this. I'm on Riderville and looking at the roster. There are 7 guys in other teams' colors in the photo. Right? Like, that's how many guys we have got from other teams that are now playing that we didn't even get pictures of.
That guy.
We haven't had time to run him past a photographer.
We got that guy. He came from a team that doesn't even exist anymore.
Where's the photo from?
That team folded.
2021. They're gone.
Okay, speaking of the offensive line, our Dave Thomas caught up with Trevor Reed. He's the only offensive lineman to start every game in the same spot this season.
Trevor, first and foremost, May 8th. That was the day that rookie camp opened in Saskatoon. Does that seem like yesterday or a long, long time ago?
Hey, man, a long, long time ago. I done grown so much from then. Long time ago.
What have you grown then? How have you grown in that time span?
I would say mentally, just knowing what I have to do and knowing the guys next to me, their position, and just knowing everybody's position. Mm-hmm.
What would you tell me if I said to you back on that day that coming into the last month of the season, you would be the only offensive lineman to start at the same position in every game all season long? What would you have said to that?
I would have been shocked, man. It's been a long journey, and hey, guys drop like flies in this or in any league. So, hey, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing for sure. Mm-hmm.
What's it been like trying to get your own bearings on what's happening, having to mix and match with different guards beside you, different calls from different centers? What's that been like for you trying to build that chemistry?
It's been a smooth process with the guys in our room, just by communicating. And by me communicating to them, it make it an easy process. So, as long as the guys know that we are talking, it's an easy process for everyone. Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your offensive line coach, because he doesn't get enough credit, I don't think.
Great guy. Just really, well, he had like every offensive lineman. They don't talk about the good; they only talk about the bad. So, he know the position he's in.
Tell me a little bit about which is more gratifying or satisfying for an offensive lineman, having Raquel Armstead go off for over 200 yards in a rushing game, or seeing Trevor Harris rack up 5 300-yard passing games.
Hey, man, both, man. Hey, both is a big deal. Glad to have Trevor back. Glad to have Armstead. Both are great guys and willing to help this team and get to the playoffs and win a Grey Cup.
How big of an adjustment is that going from, say, Trevor to Shea or running back to running back? Is there any adjustment that you need to make as an offensive lineman as far as what's going on behind you that you can't see?
Sometimes, Shea, he'll get out the pocket and run that thing. And, Trev sit back there and throw dots. So with Trev, just trying to make sure he's good. He can cook on the grill back there how long as he wants. So it's just biggest thing is just trying to make sure Trev and all those guys are safe and they have holes to hit.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what you need to do in this last month to claim a playoff spot, to make your way into the postseason and try to claim that ultimate prize, the Grey Cup.
Yeah, it started the big guys. It's a trenches game, so we have to be the most aggressive in the freaking. We can't lose the bully game, so we got to win the bully game and we got to bully people, and that's it.
Starts against Edmonton here. Thanks so much for this.
Thank you.
Bully people. I like it. Get out there Saturday at Commonwealth Stadium and bully some people. But that's what they got to do.
That's the sport. You have to physically beat the other guy, right?
Not too low.
And don't throw him head first on the turf. That's bad too, apparently.
But the Elks, talk about the Riders roller coaster of a season. The Elks too, right? It's like, oh, they are a dumpster fire, no owner. Let's make fun of them. Then all of a sudden they turn it on and they're like the hottest team in North America. And then again, it's like, and now they stink again. And they like this quarterback controversy. And well, they got at least the owners in place now. You have a stat, Colson, that's really interesting, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
So this is my stat guy again, and I know you like betting stuff. So he's
allegedly.
Allegedly. He's just got some statistics, standings, if you will, of how the teams performed with money lines and stuff that have been set. So the Roughriders and the Elks are 9-6 against the spread. So I don't know if that means they covered their spread or whatever. I don't bet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I would think that what he means is they've covered the spread 9 times and they haven't 6 times. Which is weird because Edmonton...
Is that the combination of both?
No, each of them have done it in their games.
9 over 6.
Yeah, they've covered 9 times, haven't 6 times.
Okay.
Is my assumption of it.
I like playing this game with you on Thursdays.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think the over-under set at?
Ooh.
Because we weren't here yesterday. You get your notebook out, Colson.
Well, I heard Colson's, what, a 34-2?
You were listening yesterday?
Well,
you cheater.
Well, no. What do you think? I'm going to listen to somebody else?
True.
Good God, give me some credit.
46-3. That was mine, actually.
46-3?
Yeah.
And you had all singles, I believe, all rouges?
Sure.
No, safety in a rouge.
Safety in a rouge?
Way off the board.
I do feel the over-under is going to be either 51 or 49, right around there.
It's set at 50.5.
Yeah.
So that's where you think it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So give us a score. Because we're playing for something.
But you know what? Like, I've got in my head 27-23, right? So that's 50.
27-23 Riders.
Yeah.
Close affair.
Close because Edmonton's going to get a late touchdown to try to make it look close, but it's not really going to be that close.
Are we going to see two quarterbacks for Edmonton?
I think so, just because Trey Ford's had some success against the Riders, and they've got some wins with him under center when they played us. That's the only reason. I'm not a great Trey Ford fan. I don't think he's an unbelievable quarterback. I think he just scrambles out of fear and out of lack of confidence, and finally somebody gets open 20 minutes later, he throws the ball to him.
He makes it difficult.
He does.
He's that athletic kid playing 6 aside or 9 aside.
He's playing sandlot football. He's not playing under the scheme. He's playing sandlot.
You feel like he gets into the huddle and he goes,
you be the bottle cap,
you
be the broken glass, you be the popsicle stick. Go. This is where you go.
Just get open. I'm going to throw it over by that tree.
Yeah. That's exactly what he is. He's a great athlete, because he can run around for hours back there, but I don't think he's an unbelievable quarterback from that standpoint of being able to manage a football game.
I think we're going to I think the Elks are very stupid. Is that the best word I can come up with? For not playing him against the Riders. He's had so much success last year and this year.
Yep. No, you're not wrong. That it would be a question to play Bethel Thompson.
Why would you go? It's like, I can hit this fairway with this club all the time. No, I'm going to change it up to something that's almost opposite.
Yeah, I'm going to get some more distance this
time.
I
hit 7 iron. No, this time I'm going to hit a low cut 3 iron.
Like I can do that. I don't even have a 3 iron.
No?
No.
You got a hybrid guy?
Yeah. Just one.
I can't. Just how those things look, I can't hit them. That's the problem. My eyeball, I just can't do it. I haven't golfed in 3 weeks.
Wow, what happened to you?
Work, kids, hockey. Oh, it's ridiculous now. If your kids are in minor hockey, what is expected of you? Kate, practices crazy. Oh, we got to drive now to go get pictures. Oh, there's an extra workout on a practice day? For what? She's 11.
And this is your daughter, not your son.
Yeah, the son, at least, it's justifiable because it's AA Bantam.
And what is she playing?
AA Pee-wee.
She's going to the show. Now there's a women's show. She's going to the show.
No, I don't want them to go any show. I would like them to get some schooling paid for. As a business guy, you know me well, and as a budgeting guy and as a numbers and cents guy.
Yeah.
That's all I would like.
And the wife's in education. She wants the kids to get education, become smart, get a degree, get opportunities.
School comes first in our house, no doubt about it. No doubt. I would even actually settle for getting sticks paid at some point.
Sticks and gas. If it covered sticks and gas.
And gas. What are you playing for? Sticks and gas. Sure, sign him up.
Yep.
He'll be there. What time's practice? No, it's so fun. Kelson's saying we got a break. We're running. See, it's a runaway.
Why is he running the show?
It's a runaway for Access Communications. Thanks if you're tuning in on the stream, sportscage.com, and you're watching us be goofballs.
Hi, Mom.
Or if you are on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Liquor Stores. Now open in Harbor Landing and Rochdale Boulevard.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
When you have a big job on the go, always head to Prairieland Rental for everything from skid steers to excavators to jackhammers. You'll get everything done with equipment just from Prairieland. You won't need to go anywhere else. And at Prairieland, you deal directly with the owner. They're very local and very Sask. They appreciate your local business and they've got everything you need for your projects. They'll even deliver. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street. PrairielandRental.com.
The greatest auto sale has arrived at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Behold our dazzling weekly Ringmaster specials. Early year-end prices that will have you gasping. And Cash for Clunkers is back. Get a minimum $3,000 for your vehicle, guaranteed. There's food and games galore. Plus, win your share of thousands in unbelievable prizes. So come one, come all to the greatest auto sale at Crestview.
All-new Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
Should I get my mom on the line?
It is for Access Communications on Thursday. It's Sharky, Shank, Coulson, and Curtis. We understand Curtis has a little bit of an echo on his mic, so we're trying to get that rectified as we go along.
Did that work?
I don't know. Does this sound better? Is it echoey?
Doesn't? So you're listening to the live feed, Coulson?
I think I can still hear the echo.
Okay. Well, you guys are going to have to just swing that mic around. We'll get the
you guys are the technical guys. Figure that out.
The mic swing around sponsored.
Don't let us be in charge.
Sponsor opportunity right there. Okay. So I think I was wrong when I said we aren't playing SaskTel Pick the Score. We are playing SaskTel Pick the Score. 936.
Put a mark on the wall.
6262. Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com. Pick your score for this weekend's game in Edmonton. Chance to win tickets to next week's game against the BC Lions. We're going to give those away today, and then if you're really close, you got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. It's all brought to you by our friends at SaskTel. So pick the score, 936-6262. And if you keep listening for the rest of the day or watching the stream, we might have more rider tickets. So there is a tease.
What do you know?
An old-fashioned
Tell
tease
us, what
here.
do you
Well,
know?
I'm waiting for a message back here. We might have a few more. You came into the studio today.
Yep.
I'm big, obviously, band concert T-shirt guy, so that's what I went with today. You're going with the California Golden Seals. If you're watching the stream, you see Sharky's.
I gotta stand up. Hang on. Gotta get that in the hoodie there. There we go. There's the logo.
California. You asked me like you were going to stump me. Well, I was born in '77, but I've been a hockey fan. Yeah. And he's like, "Do you know what this logo is? California Golden Seals." I'm like, "Huh." And then I said, "You should have wore white skates." And then you said
the owner painted the skates
with
lead paint. So I was fortunate early in my work career that I worked for Billy Hickey with Regina Pats.
Yeah.
And so I said to Billy, "You played for the Seals back in the day." He said, "Yeah, I did." And we got talking about it. I said, "What was with the white skates?" He goes, "The crazy owner came in with a brush and a can of lead paint and painted all our skates white." They were the heaviest skates ever, he said. Like we could barely move. They were so heavy.
I remember reading a story about that and how it went down, and was always just baffled. I'm like, wow, what a different time.
And Billy had terrible allergies and terrible hay fever if you knew him at the time. And
he was an allergy guy?
And they played in the Cow Palace, which was actually an animal sales ring, if you will, for auction.
That's where the Sharks started.
He couldn't breathe at all the home games. Like, he was constantly medicated at home games. He couldn't breathe because of the Cow Palace situation. Yeah.
That's a good.
Do you know what? Working for Billy might have been the greatest storytelling event in history. Like, there was always a story or somebody dropping by to tell one. So it was a blast working for him.
Staying hockey-wise, Robin Lehner is I guess bought out-ish, or he'll have his contract paid, like $4.5 million this year, by the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And then people, if you're on social media today, people are losing their mind because it's like, oh, there go the Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon, blah, 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 blah. And it's like the NHL. So the way I understand it, and I've done a lot of reading on this today, it's a little bit mind-numbing.
It is, isn't it?
Frank Saravalli had a really good piece on it. Elliot Friedman did a really good piece on it. Is the guy's got some issues, so he's not going to play hockey this year. The Golden Knights knew it. The NHLPA knew it. So they came to an agreement to be like, okay, basically pay him the 4.5 schmil. He's not going to play. It doesn't count against your cap.
And he's not going to play anywhere. Like, it's not like he's going to go to the KHL or they're going to put him in the American League. He's physically done. He's not going to play.
So I totally get both sides here, right? Because if you hate the Golden Knights, just like if you hate the Yankees, if you hated the Patriots when they were good, there's a hard cap. If you just hate a team, you hate a team. And Vegas has kind of taken on that, I guess, label a little bit when it comes to the NHL. But
they're a 6-year-old franchise that's won a Stanley Cup. Like,
been there twice.
Yeah.
Like, and then have you been to a game there?
No, but hello, Buffalo. Like, what are you going to do, right?
Are they still in the league?
Yeah, they are. They are.
No, okay, so
Vancouver.
I was kind of looking at, just from an outsider, I really like Kelly McCrimmon. After having him on the Monday Nooner, and he had so much fun. He's a senior hockey guy. Like, I loved everything about him.
Another great storyteller.
He is, and he's just so Sasky.
Yeah.
Like, he is so Saskatchewan from
Dollard.
Plenty. Dodds Land?
Yeah, that's it. Dodds Land.
No, I think he's but I think it's from, is it actually Dodds Land, or is it from that town right beside? Anyway, and he, so what he's done is amazing. What he did with the Brandon Wheat Kings for years and years and years. And it's like, it's like this head scratching thing. It's like, are the Wheat Kings ever going to be bad?
No.
They were like the Wheat Kings. I feel the Red Deer Rebels. I feel the Kelowna Rockets and the little bit Kamloops and the Seattle Thunderbirds. They're never bad for really a long time.
No, they're never really right back to zero.
Yeah, we got to go on a rebuild. And meanwhile, these guys are just absolutely laughing at everybody. Maybe it's scouting and it's got to be scouting management. Everything that they're doing. I've got Cal Filson in last week or a couple weeks ago, who scouted for Seattle forever, and he lived down the street. We can have him on whenever, he said. And it's like, these teams are unbelievable what they do.
I always made a joke that there was a league rule that as a first-year general manager, you couldn't make a trade with Kelly McCrimmon because you were going to lose so badly in the course until you'd been in the league a year or two. But Kelly had a way of getting what he needed out of whatever trade was going on, not giving up much or not giving up anything of tremendous value and getting something tremendous back in return. He just had a way of finding those guys or knowing which guys to get and take back in return. So that isn't just luck, and that isn't just hard work. That's extra hard work.
Plenty.
Right? Yeah.
Plenty, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
My buddy worked at a lumberyard there. Or no, I was in Kindersley, but he lived in Plenty. So he's from Plenty, played senior in Kerrobert after. Because he was the last, basically, WHL, NCAA both, Brandon to University of Michigan.
Really?
And then wanted to go back and farm. And the Robert, you got to listen to this Monday Nooner episode. It's so good. And then he's like, yeah, they were like, hey, do you want to come play senior? And so he was player coach at senior. My cousin.
I can't even imagine him being the player coach for senior.
My cousins, plural, played for him. And his practices were like off the charts, like skating these guys in senior and all these guys in Crub were like, what is going on here, man? Like we were playing senior hockey.
We have a beer before practice.
Yeah, and it was like regimented and all that, but just a great, yeah, you said storyteller. He's been around the block. So, but I don't think this, stepping back and like looking at it, I guess, from people say 30,000 feet, it's not the Vegas Golden Knights manipulating anything or it's the guy's in some mental health situation. He's not going to play hockey. So do you punish the Golden Knights by letting that $4.5 million sit against their cap when it's not hockey related? Like it's not an injury. It's not.
Yeah. And there's another catch to this that, so he's also in bankruptcy court because I don't know how you get that far in debt. But anyway, he's in bankruptcy court. And the catch might be that if they don't pay him or don't afford him the opportunity to collect this money, the bankruptcy court might be able to come back against the Golden Knights in the NHL to collect that money. So it might be their advantage to pay him, even though they know he's not going to play, skip the LTIR, give the guy the cash, make this all go away.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the NHLPA now is probably hearing. You would think that they would have had to clear it with their representatives, and then the NHL would have cleared it with the other teams to be like, hey, this is how it's going to shake down. But everyone's losing their mind like, damn, Golden Knights.
All the guys in the kitchen are losing their mind. The guys in the NHL recognize that Robin Lehner's got some severe difficulties he's dealing with personally, professionally, physically. He's got some PTSD. He's got some substance abuse issues. Like, there's no need to punish Robin Lehner for where he is or how he's ended up there or all the other things. And I'm sure he's been in the substance abuse program. They've tried to get him some help. Not everybody accepts help, as we know. So, I think this is, we're done.
So, staying on the hockey front, did you guys, and you guys have probably never been to an NHL game? You're not really your cup of tea? I heard your mic's still echoing, too. I got a text message, by the way. You got a new mic now.
I got a new mic, yeah. I've been to a few Flames games.
Yes? Okay.
So they're sort of NHL games.
So how much would a water be, roughly, like a bottled water at a Flames game? Guess.
Probably like $8.
Yeah,
something
that's
ridiculous.
my guess, yeah.
Popcorn, we're looking at 10-ish, right?
7 to 10.
If you want a pork missile, like a hot dog, you're looking at...
She's a full 9, yeah.
Ice cream cone, not that I would have ice cream at a hockey game, but...
No idea. Can't eat it.
My guts would just be churning. And then the nachos would be, in that $10, $12?
Yeah.
Maybe 15 even, pushing it?
Big size. Yeah.
Big size?
Yeah.
So, some of them are going to be like the weird $11.75 too. So you have to, like, if you're paying with cash, you get weird change, and it's just even more annoying.
Yeah. Paying with cash.
If. I said if.
No, but my mom went grocery shopping the other day. She's like, I went to the bank, I took out some money, and then I went grocery shopping. I'm like, oh, lady. The people at the tills must be like, this lady's paying in cash. Okay, get
alarms
this.
Go off.
Get this. I can actually tweet this out later on the Sportscage Twitter. Guess how much a water is at a bottled water at the new Utah Hockey Club Stadium?
Aren't they $2?
You just ruined the game, you jerk
Well, you
face.
asked me to guess.
What would you have said, honestly?
I think I'd seen that too, that they were low, but I was going to guess $3.
$3.99.
No one asked you. So water's $2, popcorn is $3, nachos are $3, hot dogs are $3, and ice cream $3. We have to get Farnsworth back on from their television station in Utah and talk about this, and then possibly have to go to a game. If my wife's listening, she's rolling her eyes right now as I just come off a trip to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. But $3.
Well, you sent me a note earlier about ticket prices on Utah. So I looked up all their ticket prices. I went, there's no deal to be had here. Like, this is full rack, right? Behind the penalty box was $500 US per.
Is that So then get in the stadium price. What is get in the stadium? Why
You
would you want to
for
sit
like
behind the
120
penalty box?
But you can get in for $120 if you want to sit up by the roof.
That's nothing. I don't mind watching hockey games from high up there.
I went to a game and sat on the glass once at an NHL game. That was completely different.
It is completely
Chicago, Boston. My wife said to me, "Is Chara really that tall?"
Oh.
I said, "Yep."
Any hockey game, ice level, down low, you really get a Moose Jaw Warriors.
You get a very different perception.
We watched one of the Warriors playoff games last year down low. Shout out Jason Ripplinger, Todd Ripplinger. Thanks for the tickets.
Don't forget me.
Love those guys.
Yep.
And the speed and the skill at a WHL championship level,
phenomenal.
Right up there with any hockey event. Yeah. And then if you had NHL, see, they don't hit as much as they used to.
No, they don't.
But imagine being ice level to watch like some of those
Detroit, Colorado games back in the day. Oh, that would have been exciting. Yeah. Even just listening to Darren McCarthy yell at them.
Or just Claude Lemieux, or guys just chirping Lemieux, wanting to strangle him.
And they did.
As Sharky said, ice level for Utah, $400, $500. Nosebleeds, you get as low as $56 USD.
56.
You get a deal on the water.
Yeah. But you know what? So the problem I remember when we had Farnsworth on that.
Does it have beer on there? What's beer?
It's Utah.
There's no beer?
No, I'm just kidding. Of course there's beer. There's beer everywhere.
Why go?
Just a matter of if you drink it responsibly, just like gambling.
I drink it responsibly.
So that's not bad. But the problem they have with that rink, right? There's some limited view. See, just like America West, downtown Phoenix, when the Coyotes first went there, packed. Such a great atmosphere, but then maybe a quarter of the seating was limited view because it hung over the ice because it was made for basketball. And I think that there are a lot of limited view seatings in this Utah rink, but still, those concession prices.
Are they going to stay in this building, or are they building another one?
They're going to reno this, is what I understood for a while. They're going to make it pretty sexy.
Now, where's the Olympic rink?
That isn't kind of they played the Olympics. And they're in the Delta Center. The Olympics were played. I actually played in that rink. It's just out. I think it's like more like in Provo.
Okay, but not during the Olympics.
And then the females played. Maybe the female one was in Provo, which was pretty cool as well. Yeah, if you look it up, it's kind of just one's south and one's north, and then they're playing at the old Delta Center downtown.
Okay.
Which is the Utah Grizzlies played there for years, and then. Basketball teams always played there. So it's an older barn, but they've fixed it up and they keep it up. You're listening?
Yeah.
They've kept it up really well. So those concession prices, like, I don't know, how much is stuff to go to a Pats game? I try and boycott spending money when I go to hockey games with my kids
because it can add up so fast.
It's just snow cone, mini donuts, Twizzlers. Like, who eats Twizzlers? How long do those take to digest? You're not getting Twizzlers. Yeah, no, it's a slippery slope. So I'm
sometimes they come out really fast.
We eat like a big hearty soup before we go to a Pats game. So everybody's full.
Have some more stew and chili.
Full and gassy. Perfect. Let's go to a hockey game now. See y'all do Sportscage. If you're watching on the stream, sportscage.com.
Remind me not to go with you.
Or if you're listening, I guess chicken wing guy.
Yep.
Depends on the time of the game for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to shy away from the chicken wing. That's for true.
620 CKRM.
Get the farm equipment you need at upcoming Ritchie Brothers farm sales this fall. Ritchie Brothers is hosting close to 20 farm auctions between October 9th and December 12th. For the latest auction schedule, visit rbauction.com. Choose from hundreds of farm equipment items, including combines, tractors, trucks, headers, trailers, farmland, and much more. Register for free, then bid online at rbauction.com.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Sometimes there's a song you just gotta hear. And every Sunday morning from 10 till noon, we give you the chance to play your favorites with the Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program. 2 hours set aside to play what you want.
Hey, Cindy, what can I play for you today?
Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis.
Good morning, Ray. Could you play Coal Miner's Daughter for me?
I wonder if I could request Eagle When She Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday Morning Request and Dedication program with Ray Allen from Country's Greatest Hits, 620 CKRM.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Bidding is now open for the timed online farm equipment auction for Michael and Kim Weinrock of Latman, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at macauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, John Deere 4450, 8430, and 7420 tractors, Ford and Dodge diesel pickup trucks, Schulte and John Deere rotary mowers, plus a whole lot more. Bidding closes this Monday, October 7th at 10 a.m.
That's the Michael and Kim Weinrock timed online farm equipment auction. Bidding closes October 7th at 10 a.m.
The team of experienced farmland real estate agents at Shepherd Realty in Regina has just listed for sale a 5,220-acre grain farm located near Ogama, with some of the best quality land in the area, including a beautiful yard site with a well-kept house, outbuildings, and over 375,000 bushels of grain and fertilizer storage. To learn more, contact Shepherd Realty in Regina at 352-1866. shepherdrealty.ca.
PV Mart wants to thank our customers for their loyalty through these challenging times. To say thank you, we want to invite you back into your local PV Mart to shop our Fall Customer Appreciation event. From Friday, October 4th to Thursday, October 10th, you will save 10 to 50% store-wide, plus greater super savings in our massive Customer Appreciation Days flyer. Shop in-store or online to save on everything you need for this fall and winter. PV Mart would like to thank you for your support and for shopping 100% Canadian-owned retail.
Hardware and a whole lot more.
Offers cannot be combined. No discounts on feed and gift cards.
The all-new Sportscage is proud to present Friday Night Lights, our in-depth look at high school football across Saskatchewan. Friday Night Lights is brought to you by Regina Motor Products. Take advantage of their winter tire swap. Save up to $20. Book today.
Thanks to everybody who was messaging hi@sportscage.com. That is an email address. hi@sportscage.com, letting us know about your upcoming action this week. Tomorrow, it is Friday Night Lights. We're going to focus on maybe one of the games a little bit more. You just got to supply us the information. But tonight, high school football-wise, in the Queen City at 5:15, we got O'Neill versus Winston Knoll. That's 5:15 at Mosaic Stadium. 9 aside. Now, some of these I'm going off the provincial website. Okay, you go ahead.
We get
today?
Tomorrow night?
No, tonight.
Oh, you want today?
It's Thursday. Okay, here, let me go first.
You're in
Chikai. Fort Capel hosting Indian Head, 4 p.m. kickoff, 6 minutes. If you're going to that one in Indian Head, let us know how traffic is, 936-6262. 4 p.m. also, Yorkton Sacred Heart welcoming the boys and ladies from Broadview And then 4:30, I know we have some listeners that always text in from the Kindersley region. Jean-Paul is in Kindersley. So that's 9-a-side. 6-a-side football. Big listeners up in that Clavette area. They are home to Watrous at 4 p.m. Clavette, Watrous clashing there. You get this one. This one I wrote down. If there's somebody going to this game that is listening to this program, I will buy you a Western pizza the next time. You got to send me a live video right now because I don't think... Shelbrook's going to Creighton.
Really?
For 6-a-side football on a Thursday. Guess how far the Shelbrook to Creighton twirl is?
700K.
No, not that much.
Really?
446 kilometers. So next time I think that I got to drive to the Balfour from the north end tonight, I'm going to remember the people that had to drive from Shelbrook to Creighton for a 6-a-side high school football game this evening. What are you shaking your head about?
Just Regina problems driving from the north end to Belfort.
That train. I'm like, it is laughable. There should be a documentary on how we don't have an overpass or an underpass at those train tracks.
Or the train's just not there. Something.
It is so embarrassing. And then Hague is home to Waka.
Hague.
6-a-side.
Not Hague.
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 I grew up near there. I've played there. I got a concussion in that hockey rink.
I'm not saying that you didn't grow up there. I'm just saying that
they run a really nice Chester's chicken. They fill up for gas there on their way to the lake. They do.
I'll bet they do.
The chicken skewer thing, that hits the spot when you're on a 4-hour drive. What do you got that I don't have?
No, I had tomorrow.
Okay,
sorry.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Send us in.
Shelbrook at Creighton. Wow.
Email, please. hi@sportscage.com. Let us know.
Well, just for the record, Creighton's 1-1. Waka beat them 32-8. They beat Hague, sorry. Creighton beat
Mr.
Hague,
Pronunciation, please.
24-12 a couple of weeks back. So, big game. Big game. Standings, what do we got? Creighton's 2-1. Shelbrook's 0-3.
Yeah, Creighton. That's a haul and a half. Hey, local front hockey. Estevan, Pat C's last night. 2-0 teams. U18 AAA. 7-4 Pat C's over Estevan. Eli Johnson, I think he had 2-2. Player of the game. Yeah.
Good for Eli.
Former employee of the Royal Regina back shop. I like. Nice kid.
Yep. Good kid.
Really nice kid. 2-2 for the Pat C's. They're 3-0. Estevan moves to 2-1. Flin Flon. Darren was here yesterday, and I said, you're going to see Flin Flon's bus
straight down
somewhere in downtown Regina. They always do stay at the Ramada. It is outside, the Iron Lung. And you see some of the boys walking by here. They must be going out for a cruise to the mall. You can
killing the time.
I remember those days. Oh. Those are good times. And so last night, Flin Flon defeated Notre Dame, in Wilcox, 4-2. Nipawin. We might see another bus float. Nipawin's in Notre Dame tonight.
Nipawin's winless so far this year, aren't they? They're off to a tough start.
7:30. How about the Saskatoon Blades? 5-3 win over Calgary. They're still undefeated.
You know, I think it's a little bit of there was a lot of skill last year, and some of those young guys have maybe risen to the occasion. And there's other teams still waiting for some guys to come back that would maybe change the momentum of the league. And because the Pats were off to a great start last year, even though they were young, and when everybody got their players back, the Pats had a little more trouble with some of those teams. So I'm glad for the Blades. They're in a great spot, but I don't expect them to stay there for the foreseeable future.
If you go to sportscage.com, you might as well go in there and vote. Where do you think the Riders are going to finish in the CFL's West Division? But also, you can check out the story on how the Saskatoon Blades stay perfect in Calgary. Also, you can check out the story fresh off the press. I think it's Randy Palmer doing. No, sorry, is it Randy Palmer that wrote it? We'll give a shout out to Randy. Anyway, doing yeoman's work there. Moose Jaw Warriors name Braden Yeager, captain. Guess how many captains in Moose Jaw Warriors history?
Well, the team's what? 40? Are they 50 years old? They'd be close. Yeah. No, they're not that old. They're 40 years old. I'm going to go with 35.
Oh, Sharky, 36.
Not bad.
You're close. You were under, so you still win. You didn't go over. Price is Right rules. Yeah, so that story is at sportscage.com as well. Hour 2 coming up. Arash Madani is going to join us. Let's talk Blue Jays, CFL, NFL, all that. Dave Thomas stops in hour 2, little NASCAR report. Thanks if you're watching on the stream, sportscage.com, or if you are joining us on the radio, 620 CKRM.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's partly cloudy and it's 10 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op Liquor Store. Now open in Harbor Landing and on Rochdale Boulevard, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck says the key to rebuilding the healthcare system is by listening to frontline workers. She told reporters in Regina today that she'd provide more funding and form a nursing task force if she's elected on October 28th. Beck says her party doesn't claim to have all the answers.
The only way that we are going to stabilize the healthcare system and ensure that people in every corner of this province get what they need is by sitting down with them and doing the hard work of rebuilding.
Beck says Saskatchewan's quality of health care is the lowest in Canada, and that needs to change. Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe says he would double the set of benefits for families with kids in sports if he's re-elected on October 28th. Moe says his party plans to up the active families benefit to $300 and bring the benefit for kids with disabilities to $400. He also has plans to allow households that make $120,000 a year to qualify.
When our kids are involved in sport, they are healthier and they are happier. And we want to ensure that that opportunity is there for all kids in this province into the future.
Moe says the Saskatchewan Party government would make every effort to make life more affordable and keep the economy strong. A Regina woman has pleaded guilty to defrauding Regina Mobile Crisis Services. In January 2022, the not-for-profit said one of its employees had been fired as a result of a financial investigation. The woman was then charged with theft over $5,000 and fraud over $5,000. A year before the charges, the organization was transitioning to a new financial management system when staff noticed irregularities. The Conservatives want Canada's lobbying commissioner to investigate whether Prime Minister Justin Trudeau violated ethics rules when he appointed former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney as an advisor.
The Liberals announced last month that Carney had been appointed chair of the Task Force on Economic Growth. He is to help the party shape its policies for the next election and will report to Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Platform Committee. Tory ethics critic Michael Barrett says in a letter to the Commissioner of Lobbying today that Carney is not registered to lobby federally, but his corporate positions put him in several potential conflicts of interest. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland has previously accused the Conservatives of mudslinging and says the Liberals are fortunate to have the advice of world-renowned experts. Mia Rabson, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
And Fire Prevention Week in Regina is from October 6th to 12th and highlights the importance of working smoke alarms with the theme Smoke Alarms Make Them Work for You. Regina Fire and Protective Services encourages residents to install smoke alarms in bedrooms, test them monthly, and replace them every 10 years. Fire Chief Lane Jackson stresses that functioning smoke alarms save lives, especially for people with disabilities. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Style. Performance. Upgrade your daily driver to the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. This SUV packs a punch with features that make a normal drive exhilarating. The ultimate in automotive luxury can be yours for $419 bi-weekly. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Mercedes-Benz Regina will help you find the exact model you want. Take a test drive and feel the difference. Stop by for an award-winning experience at Mercedes-Benz Regina, recipient of the Star Dealer Award.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Line X Regina. Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, clear early and then a few areas of high clouds after midnight and a low of -3. Tomorrow, sunshine and then increasing clouds in the afternoon and a high of 19. And on Saturday, spotty showers and a high of 13. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 18 and it's 12 degrees. Regina is partly cloudy also, where we have winds from the northwest at 24 and it's 10 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Whether Smokey's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 2. It's Barney Shankaruk, Sharky. It's Curtis and Colson. We have Dave Thomas coming up a little bit later in this hour, as well as the ever-popular NASCAR report for Croft Electric. Very curious to find out how things have been going. It's like stock. You just, when you don't look at it for a while, and then you go, oh, it's done all right. Oh, wow, what was I thinking? So I'm really curious on how my ponies are doing in the NASCAR circuit. So
your favorite guy is below the bubble right now.
Pokey Reddick?
Pokey Reddick's below the bubble. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Not going to lie to you.
You thought he was going to win. You said I was in a good spot.
Well, there's more to the story.
Oh. What was his brothers? Eldon Reddick and Stan?
Stan
and Eldon.
Smokey. Which one is Smokey?
Smokey was the other guy.
Smokey and Pokey.
Smokey and Pokey. And then this guy who drives in NASCAR. So we got that coming up in a bit. It's always fun talking NASCAR.
The all-new Sports Cage and Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Arash. Not even. I thought for sure you were going to have some Minnesota Viking paraphernalia on.
Does.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, look at him.
If you're watching the stream, you see he has Minnesota Vikings
4-0
t-shirt on, and he's giving us the 4-0. Let's just start there then. A chance to go 5-0. They're going overseas. These overseas games, they're in London against the Jets. These games over there, although, what are they? They're only a 2-point favorite. Is that what I saw? It's always weird, right? Because the travel is one thing, then the culture, and it's like, how many taverns are they taking in? Probably none, because they're professional athletes. And then the field
professional
conditions.
Professional athletes would never go out the night before.
No, never do anything like that.
Obviously, yeah.
Nope. Never. What's that area of London called? So much. Are they playing in London?
They are. Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah. Man, they're for real. Like, you listen to other shows that are south of the border, are just as good as ours. And everyone, like, it's believe time for these Vikings. And again, it's only 4. Like, I haven't even looked at the remaining schedule. Like, if you really break down their remaining schedule, Arash, like, is it real time now?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You get through Sunday. If you can beat that quarterback whose name I will not even recognize by name because of all the years he's bothered me, you're 5-0, you get a bye week, and then Detroit comes to town. So, like, fellas, the NFC Offensive Player of the Month in 2024 is Sam Darnold. Like, in real life, we're not playing Madden, we're not playing fantasy. Like, in reality football, Sam Darnold is the NFC Player of the Month. And I'm being dead serious with you. I wouldn't even put him as he's the third most important aspect of the team, because number one's been the defense and number two has been Justin Jefferson. And now here's Sam Darnold, who's just not making mistakes. And that's the name of the game. Don't turn the ball over. You're in a good spot.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Question. You have to go on an 8-hour road trip with either Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. Who are you going with?
I drive right into the ditch. You know, like, I'm willing to take one for the team at that point. You know, like, Mom, Dad, thank you for everything. I'm going to go do humanity a favor right now and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay. I like your point about not making mistakes, because as we watched Detroit on Monday, no mistakes from the quarterback, like none. Perfect game.
That's a video game.
I know, it was fantastic. So you're saying then take the Vikings over the Jets Sunday morning?
Yeah, I am, because is Sauce Gardner going to shut down Justin Jefferson? Do we really think that's going to happen? And if so, then there's Jordan Addison, then there's some other guys. I just think the Vikings are playing really good football right now. And they're really healthy on the defensive side of the football right now. And the Jets seem like they're in New York turmoil right now. So you kind of add it all up, and that's why I really like the Vikes this week. I'll just tell you this, guys. I went with Mom, Dad, and my sister about 10 years ago, not even, 7 years ago, to Wembley when the Vikes played the Steelers. Here's the other thing about the vibe in those stadiums. There is no home field advantage. It is a rainbow of NFL colors. It's almost like a convention of NFL colors. So crowd noise won't be a factor, anything like that. They just cheer whenever the ball goes up in the air. They just love when,
I love it.
It's going to be a neutral site environment is where I was going to go with this.
It's a bit like when they had the NHL game here.
Absolutely.
Every color was available in the stadium. There was no Jets or Flames fans. It was everybody.
Yeah.
What is there a player on the Vikes that's kind of really caught your eye, blowing your socks off, like a guy this year that you just are really impressed with?
I just can't believe Aaron Jones got released by the Packers. Like this, we went 2-3 years, maybe a little bit more, where the running back was kind of devalued, and now the running game has just made this renaissance, right? Like, look at Baltimore's last 2 games. The Ravens with a horrible start to the season. How have they gotten back in? They're feeding Derrick Henry. What's happened to the Vikes? Aaron Jones has become a staple of what they're doing. What's Detroit done? Detroit's got 2 of them, including using a top 10 pick with a running back. To me, Aaron Jones has been a difference maker.
It's interesting you say that, because if one team hasn't done that well, it's the Dallas Cowboys bringing back Ezekiel Elliott to be your starting running back. And where are they in the standings?
Yeah, like the whole Zeke thing reminds me of when the Jays signed Justin Turner this offseason. I'm like, cool move, guys. Justin Turner was 29 10 years ago. Like, when was the last time Ezekiel Elliott was an impact player? And then Jerry coming out and saying we couldn't afford Derrick Henry. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
That guy needs to shut up. Like,
he stop landing his helicopter on the practice field.
That's a bad look too. I don't. Cowboy fans, sorry.
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm starting to admit that I could be wrong.
Okay, would you ever go away from them?
Maybe.
Like, why keep getting treated like that? Leave. Pack up a suitcase and leave.
This is coming from
I have an answer. I have an answer to that question. It's a terminal illness, and it's not just being a Cowboys fan. You know how many times I've wanted to rid myself of this Vikings fandom? And I'm like, that's it. I've given up. I'm not following the articles all week. I'm not watching the YouTube podiums. I'm not following what they're doing. And then Sunday morning, I start to kind of get some itches all over myself. And I'm like, oh, my God. You can change your job. You can change your job. You can change your city that you live in. You can change your career. You can change your gender. But you cannot change your football team. I'm telling you, it's a terminal illness.
You, as a Cowboys fan, you need to go something just stable. Not like an absolute head turner, like, wow. Just something that's there. Not a...
Point that out to me in the National Football League.
Okay. The Seattle Seahawks.
No.
Hey, I'm just giving you wanted an option. They're just there. They're not awful. They're never like super great anymore. I'd go there. Okay, get this around. Like, I was just looking at this today. Here's one of our gambling segments of the day.
Okay.
This week, it started with me trying to figure out who I'm going to take for my 4. I have 4 entries in this survivor pool. Okay,
left.
Yes.
You have 4 left.
Yes, you can rebuy. You can rebuy up until this week.
Okay. I was going to say, how many entries do you have? 50?
Yeah. So I invest. It's an investment. I ditch all the crap teams, and then I start playing for real. Which it's worked out once for me. Okay, but so you look at the schedule for NFL football this week. And if you go to because I usually go to the lines, right? The odds makers know. So you go to the lines. We have one game that is a 7-point spread. Everything else is below. There's a 6.5, and then there's 2s, 2.5s, 1s. Like
where's the 7?
Is that the San Fran Arizona game?
Yeah, that surprised me a bit.
Game now. That's a division game, so beware of those.
That's exactly why I didn't get the 7.
Yeah.
Oh, I picked the 49ers too.
And then the Giants Seahawks, which I did use 2 of my 4 remaining on the Seahawks. So if the Seahawks lose on Sunday, Arash, you will be getting a text message. I will be furious. I'm not break anything guy. Like those people that break their TVs and all that. No. But I'll be very, very sad. And then, because then I'm like, what else do I take here? I'm like, Kansas City's 5.5 against the Saints. No way. No way, Jose Canseco. And then Tampa, like tonight. What a great Thursday nighter.
It is.
I got a hot take. I got a hot take for you, fellas.
Ready.
So last year, Week 5, Baltimore lost a game they should have won. Dropped them to either 3-2 or 2-3. Really good team. I go to my little telephone. By the way, my telephone also has Vikings helmets on it. And I check Baltimore to win the AFC. And I got something like 16-1 or 12-1 to win the AFC. Obviously, they lose in the AFC. They're hosting the AFC Championship game down the road. The play that I think is going to be really intriguing from a future standpoint, Seattle just played in Detroit on Monday. Seattle's a good team, okay? But they're on a short week at home now, flying home. And now next week they play Thursday. So they're in a real tough spot right now, week 5, week 6 of the season. If they lose Thursday, lose 2 of 3, kind of, lost in the shuffle of the NFC, they're going to be a really good investment opportunity futures team.
Yeah.
Because they're strong on defense. They have a good running game. They have a quarterback who's solid, not great, solid, and a receiver who can't be stopped in Metcalf.
Look at this.
Yep.
Just pulled up the futures AFC, NFC conference winners right now.
Yep.
Looking at where the value is.
Come on, what do we got?
I don't even know what I'd sprinkle on here, to be honest.
What's Seattle pay right now? 9?
There's plus 1,600.
To win the NFC or to win the Super Bowl?
Win the NFC.
Wow, that's value, man.
That is crazy.
Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
Yeah.
I guess Minnesota, I guess, because of their record.
Detroit.
But
that's is that kind of recency bias from last year, maybe a little bit?
I thought they looked
They're
fantastic
good.
Monday.
Oh, did they ever?
Oh, yeah.
They're really good.
They're good.
I was flying. I didn't really watch that game.
You know who's sneaky good? Green Bay. And it makes me sick.
Really?
Yeah. Like those scummy. Like, you go from Favre to Rodgers now, Love. Like, are you serious? By the way, fellas, I'm not into stats too much, but let me throw this one at you. Okay? Through 4 games, there is a quarterback who has put together more scoring drives, 23, than incompletions, 19. More scoring drives than incompletions, and it's a rookie for the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
Like that because that's what I was just looking at here. And I'm like,
and he's playing the Ravens this week. So where are you going there?
Popcorn game.
Any chance that Devontae Adams ends up there?
Man, don't you just get the sense that Devontae Adams' hamstring is only going to get healed once he gets traded?
I love that move.
It gets healed immediately.
Love that move.
Immediately.
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah, like that's these futures. I haven't looked at them yet, but now that you brought it up, I wouldn't touch it anything right now. Like I was thinking Houston would be a little bit better value, but AFC wise, yeah, like I'm not super the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do it. I still think Mahomes ain't going next season. Okay, I've been teeing it up. Let's shift to baseball here. Our Blue Jay fan out there listening is going to be enthralled about this. They finished in last place. They had an absolute rough year. Am I getting this right that the front office is all coming back?
The president's back. The GM's back. Wow. The assistant GMs are back. The field manager is back. But they're replacing the assistant pitching coach.
Are they related to the Dallas Cowboys by any?
Did Jerry Jones buy the Blue Jays?
Like the issue, guys, is not just this season. It's not just that they finished in last place. It's not just that they were 14 games below 500. It's this constant regression. Like,
yeah,
in 2021, they should have made the playoffs and didn't. And then in 22, you make the playoffs, you blow an 8-1 lead, and you're like, well, we gotta change some things. So they trade Teoscar Hernandez for a nobody reliever. And now you look at it and you say, well, what's missing from this team? A power bat and a bullpen arm. Well, Teoscar just went and hit 33 homers this year, which is a career high. And the bullpen arm they sent to the minors this year. Their moves have been terrible. And it's not working, and you've gone from a playoff team to a last place team in a season. And the message yesterday was from the president was, if there was any other GM who we would think is an upgrade, we would bring him in. So you're telling me of the 30 available jobs, there's nobody else here that would be an upgrade after 9 years, and you haven't won one playoff game? What are we talking about?
I can't imagine being in that city and a fan.
Well, you can't be a fan of that team. Yeah, you can't be a fan. They got to be furious.
That Toronto Sun thing that you sent me this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 guys dressed, the president and the GM dressed up in a hot dog bun. It's because here's the thing, like they've made a lot of changes to the stadium. It's a ballpark, all those things. But it is now expensive to go to games. You've asked for people's time and money and effort and trust. And you're going backwards and you're going downhill and it's not working. And then yesterday, a guy who's pretty positive about this team asked the president, like, just gives him a softball, a 2-foot putt, a gimme. Hey, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. a generational player? And, where are you guys at on contract talks? Because Vlad's up at the end of next year. And Shapiro wouldn't even call him a generational player. What are you doing? Why are you insulting the one player on this team that everybody comes to watch? There's such a tone deafness to the entire thing. It's just bizarre.
I want to take us down a different route because Blue Jays are out of the playoffs. It's over. I've stopped watching that. The fire is smoldering. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Let's go to the CFL. Raquel Armstead. Come here from Ottawa. Ottawa let him go. Surprisingly, do you have any insight on why the Red Blacks made that decision?
Well, look, Armstead didn't do himself any favors, with the penalties and all those kinds of things. This is what I've been led to believe, guys. I shouldn't say I'm told. I'm led to believe that basically he and the offensive coordinator not only did not see eye to eye, but it just wasn't going to be resolved at all. And I know Bobby Dice came out and said, hey, we wanted this to work, and Armstead wanted this to work, and it just didn't. We appreciate everything he did. It got to the point where somebody in the building had to go, and not just the OC, but it was weird in the building. And it just became, and I want to use the right word, it became easy for the Red Blacks just to let Armstead go.
It was an uncomfortable relationship.
Very.
Yeah.
Very. And it's like any kind of house, any kind of situation, when it's uncomfortable, when it's awkward, when it's not working, when you try, the divorce is inevitable. And it wasn't just quote unquote an incident. It wasn't, somebody punching someone out. It wasn't any fireworks. It just got to the point where it just wasn't going to work anymore. And that's why he was on the street, and that's why the Riders picked him up.
Very, not say similar, but I can't figure out the Bo Levi Mitchell and Hamilton thing, right? Where it seemed like at odds with the coaching staff there as well. Now he's, like I said, joked yesterday, slinging it like a young Danny McManus. They started 2-8. If they beat Winnipeg this week, then
the once 2-8 Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to the Grey Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we sprinkling on that? Or is that just
We've already sprinkled. We sprinkled 3 weeks ago at 50-1. And here's the thing, fellas. Honestly, there is just as good a chance that the Ticats could cross over with a win this week as there is them sneaking in the East. I get we feel like the season's almost over, but with 3 games to play and a team that's hot the way they are right now, if they knock off Winnipeg, and that's with a capital I and a capital F and a PH, this is a massive game for them because they're running out of time. There's very little runway left for them. This is the game that the Ticats need. I don't think there's a team in the league playing better than them. Honestly, even Winnipeg that's been on this roll.
Plus 5,000 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Yeah. 50-1.
And that was 3. Listen, how about this? 3 weeks ago was the same number. It hadn't changed. Because it's going to be so hard for them to get in. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If they can somehow sneak in, watch out. But the problem is getting in. If they had started 2-6 or 2-7, it might be a different conversation. 2-8 is a hard road to come back from.
Imagine the crossover. Imagine. Saskatchewan, Hamilton.
Would that be the first time ever an East team has crossed over to the West?
Yeah, it might be. We're used to the West crossing over. It's a great question.
I don't remember that ever happening before.
I thought Colson, you had that stat at one point about the.
I'm pretty sure it hasn't happened. The East crossing over. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's only been West teams.
If Hamilton wins, they're 2 points behind Toronto for third, and 3 behind Ottawa. They're still
You know what's going to...
And tied with
You know
BC.
You know what's really intriguing about all this here, guys? That abomination in Ottawa that led to the tie between the Riders and the Red Blacks may be what keeps Hamilton out of the playoffs.
Oh.
That 1 point, because of the tie, may actually loom large over the entire playoff picture.
That is a
Seriously.
good one. I didn't think of it that
is.
way. That's
And
awesome.
Could affect Saskatchewan and BC as well, because Saskatchewan could get the home game just on that tie.
That's a $2 million swing.
Tie.
Yes.
Love it.
Ties.
Tie.
Rouges.
Get a tie. It works for you.
Send
Missed
a
field
Western
goal for-
pizza to the command center.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how it all shakes down. Good luck to your Minnesota Vikings in London town this weekend.
Look at the shirt.
Yeah.
Look at the shirt. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Okay. See you later, bud.
Have a great weekend, boys.
Thanks, Rash.
Coast to coast with the Rash Madani. For Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Didn't even talk to him about Alabama, Georgia. I
No.
do that next time.
You had quite a time.
Sure
You had quite a
did.
trip.
No, it was just that game was amazing.
No, but the whole trip you were on was amazing, too.
Well, it's just Nashville.
The photos were outstanding. All the other people
I only
had
sent you one photo. Who sent you
It's
photos?
not who sent. I got lots of photos.
Yeah, it's just Nashville. It's Broadway. It's bars. It's bars and honky tonks.
You felt right at home there, didn't you?
I think, like I was talking, you ever drank in London? And what's that area called of London with all those pubs and bars?
It's not Knightsbridge, is it?
No.
No.
Now that is, because it's just so different. People to say, like with your relatives, Freeze Tallman, shout out Freeze Tallman.
Yeah.
John Stricker, Kevin Stricker, then they all went to
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Like that is something I'd like to take Mrs. S and go and check out.
I had the friends there last year as well. Some other friends in town were in an Oktoberfest, had the blast of their lives. Yeah. Hard to believe.
We got to take a break. Dave Thomas is coming up. Talk more Riders. You are watching the Sports Cage at sportscage.com, or you're listening to it at 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Sunday mornings, we're giving you control. It's the 620 CKRM Request and Dedication Show with Ray Allen. Sunday mornings from 10 till noon, 2 hours set aside for you to pick what we play. From the latest to the greatest, it's all in your hands. It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday morning Request and Dedication Show on the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
A strong and growing economy means that we can make life more affordable for Saskatchewan people. The Saskatchewan Party will cut your income tax, saving a family of four $3,400 and a seniors couple $3,100 over the next 4 years. That's on top of the $400 a year savings that you now receive from your government's decision to take the Trudeau NDP carbon tax off of your home heating. The Saskatchewan Party, making life more affordable for Saskatchewan people.
Authorized by the financial agents for all provincial Saskatchewan Party candidates.
Calling all farmers, ranchers, and producers. Did you know you hold the key to a resilient agriculture future? Donate to Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan and help connect students with agriculture. Together, we can cultivate a generation that understands, appreciates, and champions the heart of farming. A sustainable future begins with investing in education today. Make a charitable donation to Ag in the Classroom at aitc.sk.ca/donate.
Hun, I'm starving. What do we have to eat?
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza. I really don't feel like cooking today.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
I want lasagna.
I was thinking Caesar salad and garlic bread.
I had my heart set on chicken wings.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
Avoid the annoyed with Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
Western pizza.
It's 1995. Rachel and Mulder are hooking up their new VCR when they realize they need to replace their carpet with glossy tile-patterned linoleum. Why? 90s flooring trends were wild, so be thankful it's 2024 and that Flooring Superstore has what you want. From vinyl plank, vinyl tile, hardwood, laminate, and everything in between, their stock is immediately available with professional installation for residential or commercial spaces. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor covering at the best price. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
That was a quick break. I don't have my headphones in, but we're back here in the Sports Cage. That's what happens when you call your wife in a commercial break to try and figure out who's picking up which kid from where and where they are this evening. There we go.
It's not, like you don't have some sort of scheduling system? Like there's not
back in the game. Yeah.
There should be an app for that for you, right?
Well, there is. It just doesn't. The app doesn't drive them places and pick them up and feed them. And then
think if it did. Oh, wouldn't that be good?
Well, maybe we could be onto something. Yeah. Looking for investors
for our app to feed your kids.
Western Pizza guest hotline. Speaking of feeding your kids, it is a perfect night for Western Pizza. I
actually ate before I came here today, so I wouldn't be starving in the middle of the show.
You're still going to get hungry after 5.
I'm already hungry.
Still going to get hungry after 5.
Damn Spiros.
I'm waiting one day when Spiros listening that all of a sudden just a nice deuce shows up at the door.
The number 2.
I guess that sounds awkward. Hold on. That sounds really
pizza.
Weird. The number 2 pizza from Western Pizza shows up as in a delivery form.
Yeah.
I'm an all-dressed guy, though.
I can do any one of them. Doesn't matter to me.
See, now we're hungry.
Yeah.
Now we are hungry. Dave, sorry.
Spiro, if you're listening, please help us. Help us, Spiro.
Sorry, Dave. I know that sounded really weird and you were laughing really loud. Okay, show me that jacket again. What is that said? Weyburn?
What's the sec here? Got to do it.
Yeah. Weyburn, what are they called?
Eagles.
If you're watching the stream right now, Weyburn Eagles football. Those were the football jackets of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
They went away from leathers.
Full crested.
They went to what material would that be? Like a polyester?
Melton, wasn't it called?
No, Melton Leather's the other one.
Oh.
They went to like a nice, it's got to be a polyester mix. Check the tag there, Dave. Polyester, cotton mix. What else could be in there? It's not a lycra spandex? No. And then it had your team name on the back and then straight across football on the bottom. Kelly Boyle went to Mount Royal in Saskatoon, and then we played men's touch after, and we competed, and he borrowed mine on a cold national championship day, Thanksgiving long week of snowing, and I'm like, yeah, just wear it. Never saw the jacket again.
Do you think he kept it or destroyed it?
No, it was by accident. It was at his parents' house, and for years he's like, yeah, it's at my parents' house. It's at my parents' house. And then the next time I saw him, I'm like, hey, I gotta get that jacket. He's like, I think he said, my dad passed away. My mom's living in Regina in a condo.
That's not a good sign for your jacket.
Any idea where the old jacket is, bud?
Start at Value Village.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
If anyone has it says Redmond, it was Bedford Redmond football jacket, and you see it out there, I would buy it back from you. You guys won the provincials, Dave?
We did in 91. Yeah, I was a young guy then. I was just a young guy on the roster. I was just
who cares?
A contributing piece.
Hung a banner. That is huge. So did you get the jackets, and then did you guys take them back after and get the championship thing sewed in?
No, we got them after. Actually, we were so bad. It was about 5 years or so between wins for this team. So we were so bad that the school board didn't even budget for us to make the playoffs. So when we made the playoffs that year, we win, and then we got to go to PA for the provincial championship, and we didn't have any money for meals, for rooms, for nothing. So we had to take an old yellow school bus from Weyburn to Prince Albert because nobody had faith in our ability to win a game, let alone win anything else.
Great story.
That's a book. That's a book right there. You've got a whole story for it.
Weyburn School Division selling things in the classifieds to make money
for the guys to go to a playoff game.
Yeah. Why are they selling those bleachers? Team needs to get to Prince Albert.
Got a game Saturday. It's a big one.
We don't have a janitor anymore. FYI, everyone's going to clean up after themselves.
Budget cuts.
We don't have a janitor for this month. That's awesome, man. Hung a banner. 91?
91, my first year of high school.
Who were the other superstars on that team beside yourself that time, Dave?
Oh, Aki Georgakakis was a big guy. He went and played for the U of S Huskies later in later years. Trent Hebner was our quarterback. He, I believe he's in plumbing, and I got to find out from these guys in Weyburn what they're doing now. It's been a long time, but I believe I think he went out of plumbing. But again, that's funny because he actually burnt his face by sticking it into the heater during that provincial final. We'd never seen these on sideline heaters before. I'm amazed we had enough money for gas for it, and so he stuck his head in it and singed his eyebrows off.
Weyburn School Division sued by a local athlete.
By star quarterback who burns his face on a propane heater.
Headlines are changing all the time. Absolutely.
I'm just trying to look up here top songs of 1991 to kind of figure out what you guys might have blasted on the Ghetto Blaster.
Sandman.
Was it Enter Sandman?
Yeah, that was the tune.
Oh, Fading Like a Flower, Roxette. That would have been all. I would have got kicked out of the locker room, but that was what I would have tried to. I would have tried to. And I got buddies listening right now that are like, he would have tried that. He totally would have tried that. Barney's putting in his Roxette CD. Someone go hit him from behind. Right into the lockers. Wow. Well, this is, I don't even know.
Roxette CD.
Let me just keep you honest. Keep talking about this. This is awesome. Good question, though, today. We played it off to start. If people are just driving home, they didn't hear it. You went up front. You asked Coach Mace who the starting running back will be. And he kind of says Frankie Hickson, and then he kind of lets us guess.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to keep you wanting more, right? Yeah. And fortunately, when the injury report came out, Raquel Armstead has been ruled out, so it will be Frankie Hickson. Yeah, that gets the start here against the Edmonton Elks. I don't think it's a big surprise. I think that everybody probably anticipated this, maybe holding out a small sliver of hope, but it's not going to happen. It'll be interesting next week what happens, in my opinion, as AJ Ouellette is available, or at least eligible, to come off the 6-game injured list next week. And he's been practicing all week. Will he give it a go before a bye week, or do the Riders go with whomever they may have available for a game against BC that could potentially decide a home playoff game, rest him for that, then you get a bye week, and then you end the regular season against Calgary? So I'll be curious what happens with that.
My guess is they play all the horses they've got against BC. They don't leave anything in the cupboard because they want to make sure they finish ahead of them. Like we talked about, it's a $2 million swing to have that home playoff game.
Oh. Yeah, and the magic number is 3, right? So any combination of Rough Rider wins or BC losses that add up to 3 right now goes ahead and clinches that home playoff game for the Riders. Of course, if they want to clinch a playoff spot, they can do that this weekend, but of course need to get some help with Hamilton and Calgary losing, and then the Riders taking care of business on their own on Saturday in Edmonton.
So go to Hamilton now. You brought that up, and I don't mean to take us off the Rider land, but what do you see in that Hamilton-Winnipeg game? Do you think Hamilton can go in there and beat them?
I really like the way Winnipeg is playing right now. And for Winnipeg, okay, so they've got a veteran team, right? And they know exactly what it takes to get to the Grey Cup. And basically, if they win this football game, they can go ahead, and they've sewn up the West Division. They can just glide, and they can proceed as they want to over the next month heading into the West Division finals. So I think that that's the carrot that's dangling in front of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers right now, and I think the veterans are going to respond to that.
Hold up, Chakai. You said going into Winnipeg, the game is in the Hammer.
Yeah.
Is it not? And
No.
is it true that the Bombers haven't won there in since 2017 or something?
It has been a while, but look at when was the last time that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers played a meaningful game in Hamilton. It always seems that they make these late season trips to Hamilton, right, where they can rest starters, and that's what they've done over the last number of years, right?
Yeah, so there's another question I'd like to dig under the old carpet at some point. Sounded awful. And
what you're getting delivered to the station are just really scaring me, man.
But then why is that? Why does Winnipeg always go to Hamilton late in the season?
They got 3 Eastern teams here to finish the year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it isn't always that way, but it is a bit of an anomaly, and there's been a few years where Hamilton's been out of it by Labor Day and or the August long weekend, right? So just keep that in mind.
We are playing SaskTel Pick the Score today if you're driving home right now. What is the score of the game Dave Thomas will be calling Saturday afternoon right on the airwaves here. Kickoff at 5 p.m. on 620 CKRM. Text it in 936-6262. Got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card as well. Edmonton, Dave, like we talked about this earlier, how don't they play Trey Ford against the Riders?
You know what? That is an absolutely great question that I have no idea. I get it. McLeod Bethel Thompson, his completion percentage is up there. Again, the last time we saw Trey Ford start a game, he was not very good. And so if I'm the Edmonton Elks, and what Jarius Jackson has kind of been saying is that he gives us our best chance to win. And what confuses me is that for Trey Ford, if he's going to be a free agent in the offseason, so either play him or don't pay him and let him walk somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if you believe that McLeod Bethel Thompson is your guy, then that's the right move. That's what you do. But I was under the impression that the new ownership was kind of in the Trey Ford camp. And usually when the boss says you play your quarterback that's, the Canadian favorite, you play him. But I also think that Jarius Jackson is an interim head coach. He needs to do everything and anything that he can to try to remove that interim tag. And that's what he's doing. And he knows it's a must-win this weekend at home. And let's face it, when they were 0-7, how long did they wait to bring in Trey Ford? And who was the offensive coordinator that's now the head coach? Jarius Jackson. So obviously Jarius believes in McLeod Bethel Thompson, and that's why they're riding with it. But I'm with you. It's one of those now or never moments I would suggest for the Edmonton Elks and Trey Ford.
Last time the Riders played Edmonton, Edmonton's running game was outstanding. They ran over our defense like they weren't even there. And I think we have one of the best run defenses in the league. Have you seen anything in practice this week that they're looking at something different from a run defense standpoint to prepare for the Elks?
Well, the team is tired of me saying 276. That's the number of yards that the Elks racked up that afternoon at Mosaic. And I thought it was intriguing because J.C. Sherritt, former Edmontonian, right, he is the run game coordinator. So, again, it's kind of when you look at the tree that is the defensive coordinator, of course, the responsibility lies with head coach Corey Mason. He kind of branches off to Josh Bell and J.C. Sherritt. So J.C. Sherritt, at the start of the week, he brought in film from that game back in week number 9 to show the team. And I asked Micah Johnson, so what'd you get out of that? And he said, well, it's pretty humbling when you're watching lowlights of yourself because there weren't a lot of highlights. So he said, you know what, we just were not gap sound. We were not focused. We did not do our jobs. And we have to come out and do that. Now, Coach Mace also added on to that a little bit. He thought that he maybe made some poor play call decisions. But, again, this team is completely focused on not allowing that to happen again because they know if they can force Edmonton to throw the football, that's when they become turnover prone.
That is something that I would like to ask Coach Mace, all the coaches, Mueller as well, at the end of the season, like December, when it's gone, like go through the year and what did you learn in this instance, in this one, and this, because right now it's very generic, right?
Is,
and I don't even know if they would ever really divulge that, but it'd be really cool as a first-year head coach in the CFL to say, that when I didn't challenge that or when we didn't gamble there, and then that was a learning moment as a rookie head coach.
I would think if you could go to them at the end of the year and go, give me the 3 things you remember that went really good or really bad of decisions you made. I think that would be available.
I'll write this down here. But actually, getting back to that, the one thing that Coach Mace said going into the bye week, do you guys remember he had a great conversation with Luke Mullender, and they talked about time management at the end of halves and at the end of football games. And he said point blank after that Winnipeg game going into the bye, he said, you know what? I got to be better at that. We've got to be better at clock management. And then you go to Calgary when they come back from the bye week, and all of a sudden, 1:30 to go, the Riders march it down the field, right up Calgary's throat, and they take a lead that they never relinquish. So obviously there is self-awareness, self-improvement, but I'm with you. Obviously they are learning on the go too.
We have Dell Duncan Busby coming up in hour 3. First CFL start was last week. Heck of a game. But you've watched this guy. We've kind of talked about him on camera, off camera, Dave. What really impresses you about this kid?
composure. He knows where he needs to be. He can make contested catches. That's what he was doing throughout training camp. And I thought really made a big statement in the fact that he could play physical with the big boys. And I had a chance to have a conversation with him. And I said, do you enjoy the physical game? Because one of the things that you would see from a Joe, whose spot he's taking in the lineup, is that a Joe is a pivotal blocker in the run game. And you go back to that game in Calgary, and a Joe set up some great spaces for, of course, Raquel Armstead, albeit before he got injured. But again, I said, are you okay with that? And he said, absolutely. He goes, in college, I understood that if I wanted to move on to the next level and be a pro, I have to be able to block like a pro. And he has done that tenfold.
Okay, hang on the line. If you're watching the stream, sportscage.com, or if we're going to take a quick break, we're going to keep Dave on. You're listening to the all-new Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
When it comes to duct cleaning, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll clean out the dust and debris that builds up over the summer. When you need protection, they offer a monthly plan for homeowners to get regular service done on their AC and furnace, as well as plumbing. And when it comes to furnace servicing, it's never too early to get that done too. Bronco will service your furnace and have you ready to go before winter hits. Consider it today, so you can rest easy tomorrow. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com.
Calling all farmers, ranchers, and producers. Did you know you hold the key to a resilient agriculture future? Donate to Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan and help connect students with agriculture. Together, we can cultivate a generation that understands, appreciates, and champions the heart of farming. A sustainable future begins with investing in education today. Make a charitable donation to Ag in the Classroom at aitc.sk.ca/donate.
Step right up to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is joining us. The reason we kept him on for this last segment, we got the NASCAR report coming up momentarily for Croft Electric. Was your son passed his driver's exam yesterday? Give us the play-by-play. Give us the rundown on how that went.
Well, okay, first of all, I need to back things up real quick. A stud from the 91 Weyburn Eagles team, Kevin Schwetz, our starting receiver. Again, he had one catch for 7 yards as a grade 12, and I caught more passes as a defensive back in my career than he did. But anyways, the driving test went outstanding, much better this time around. As the first time I had to do it was during the COVID times with my older son, and that was when I actually had to be a passenger with him during the road test. And the instructor or examiner says, just so you know, if you say anything or use your hands at all, it's an automatic fail. So I'm like, that's what I do for a living. I'm in trouble. So I sat on my hands the whole way through. But
okay, so is it more difficult for them to take it now, Dave, or when back in our day when we took it?
Well, of course, back in our day, we had to drag our feet to stop the car, didn't we? Just like the Flintstones. No. No,
it started with going to the gas pump. Do you want leaded or unleaded? What the heck is leaded? What were we doing?
No, I think, you know what, they do a really good job as far. What I like that we didn't have growing up is that you actually have to take the in-car instruction. So the kids actually get somebody aside from our dad to teach them how to operate a vehicle. Because let's face it, our parents didn't always have the best habits when driving, and their experience that they passed on maybe wasn't always accurate. So I think that gives these kids a big advantage. So
do they still have to go around the vehicle and like check it? And you say, hey, every time you get into your vehicle, you got to walk around for a safety check. What? I have never seen anyone in the history of the world ever do that. Well, sometimes when I see people... Go ahead.
I was going to say, can you imagine being under stress, right? And the examiner's at the front of your vehicle, and he's pointing to either side, and you got to make sure you turn on the right signal light? How often do you think about that, right?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. I think it's weird when I see people driving 10 and 2. No, it is. I think it's weird.
Well, you don't drive 10 and 2 anymore. It's 9 and 3.
Yeah, no, that's odd. No. That's weird. You got to go 10 and 2.
Wow.
9 and 3 is
10 and 2 with a dart. Yeah. Okay, Dave. Hey, have a fat. What? You got another stat from your 91?
No more stats. Although my
kid
phone's
that burnt his
up.
face.
No. I hope he's not in heating. Anyways, a quick one for you. My mom is the best person on the planet, and she took her driving test a number of times, but the best thing was she was in the metropolis of Moose Jaw, and they didn't go in all the time from the farm, but she was told to turn left by the examiner, and she kept going straight because she thought that he was trying to mess with her because there was construction down there the last time she was in the city, which happened to be 6 weeks earlier, but she thought, he's just messing with me, so she kept going. Automatic fail, not listening to the examiner, go home.
I love it. Oh, that's good stuff.
She's probably been driving since she was 9.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I better go get pizza because we're going to need that because she ain't cooking for me tonight now.
Yeah. How many gears in this thing? 4. Okay, have a good call, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Enjoy.
Voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Dave Thomas on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline.
The all-new Sportscage NASCAR report. Robin is Racing is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all of your electrical needs. Visit croftelectric.com and on all socials.
Hey, the big news this week is Off the Track as a 2311 team that's owned by Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan of the famous basketball Jordans.
Not the kid from Foam Lake?
No, not the kid from Foam Lake. And Jordan's business partner, Curtis Polk, have filed a lawsuit against NASCAR, which is owned by a single family. So the whole league is owned by the France family. NASCAR is the only sport where the league is owned by one family, and this is an antitrust, as the 2311 team is claiming the league owned by the France family has control with monopolistic practices that support the ownership of the league and not the teams, including single-source vehicle part vendors, TV money control, sponsorship control, and they actually own some of the tracks themselves.
Jeez, that's wild.
It does. It costs $18 million to run a team in NASCAR, and the return on investment is not possible based on the present setup. So based on the comments of winning teams like Hendricks and others, who also don't make money, I see some major changes coming to the sport as a whole.
Imagine if you marry into that family.
Whew, Dinah. Yike. On the track, Ross Chastain took the checkered flag at Kansas, and although he's not in the playoff field of 12, his win takes away one of the guaranteed spots to advance to the field of 8. Not everyone had a great day. Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick both had tire troubles and finished well back. Larson now sits 4th overall, and your guy Reddick has dropped to 9th, 4 points below the cut line.
Where are they this week?
That's the thing. We're going to Talladega. So 4 wide, 200 miles an hour, 33-degree banking. Anything can happen. All bets are off when you go to Talladega.
Eric Church on repeat.
It is. It's going to be a great Sunday. Somebody's looking to move up, and Reddick needs to do it.
NASCAR report for Croft Electric. You want those fancy lights on your house that everyone has that changes color and they're permanent?
Put them inside.
Croft Electric. I was going to talk to him on our trip about, say, hey, what do we need to do? Friends and family deal?
Demo house.
Yeah. Demo. Yeah, you better demo those.
Yeah.
And in the Northwest.
He'd demo them on the studio, probably. Not on the house.
Croft Electric, what a beauty. We love Crofty. This is our hour 2 in. We still got Glenn Suter, Dell Duncan Busby coming up. If you're watching on the stream, sportscage.com, or on 620 CKRM.
You get home from work, and as soon as you open the door, you realize, oh, this place smells like shocking surprise. You've got sewer problems. Let's be honest, sewer problems literally stink. You need to call someone who will get your sewer situation all sorted out. You need the sewer experts at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. They're number one in the number two business. Bronco Plumbing and Heating, serving Regina, Moose Jaw, and the surrounding area. 306-781-2090. Give them a call. They'll treat you right.
Bidding is now open for the timed online farm equipment auction for Michael and Kim Weinrock of Latman, Saskatchewan. Register to bid at macauctioncompany.com. Up for auction, John Deere 4450, 8430, and 7420 tractors, Ford and Dodge diesel pickup trucks, Schulte and John Deere rotary mowers, plus a whole lot more. Bidding closes this Monday, October 7th at 10 a.m.
That's the Michael and Kim Weinrock timed online farm equipment auction. Bidding closes October 7th at 10 a.m.
Equities, bonds, yield, PE, ratios, value, growth U.S., Canada, global, emerging, taxes, duration, correlation, economy, GOP, housing, unemployment.
Are you making any sense of this? Don't guess with your money. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions at 546-2533. Brian specializes in helping his clients make smart investment decisions. Call 546-2533.
Every house needs to have windows that are good, sturdy, strong, scary.
Okay, maybe not scary, but ones that save you money. Freeze Tallman wants to talk about Geldwin windows and doors and how from now until October 11th you can save 15% off select Geldwin products. That's one spooky deal. Keep the fright time going. Head to Freeze Tallman today in Regina and Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
With over 380 conveniently located card lock locations, Co-op offers the largest card lock network in Western Canada. Count on us to keep you fueled 24/7, right from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, through to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and all points in between.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. It's mostly sunny and it's 10 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. We're 3 weeks away from Election Day and the main parties are talking health care and sports benefits.
The NDP criticizing healthcare under the Sask Party, leader Carla Beck blaming long wait times and burnt-out workers on Scott Moe. Her way to fix it? Recruitment and retention, more funding, and finding solutions with frontline staff. But Moe saying his plan to hire more workers is working and would continue should he form government. Also promising on day 3 to let families making up to $120,000 qualify for expanded benefits for kids in sports. Election Day is October 28th. Aaron Sousa, The Canadian Press.
For more coverage of Sask Votes 2024, go to sasktoday.ca or 620ckrm.com. According to the latest Saskatchewan crop report, the harvest province-wide is 91% complete. Harvest is at 99% complete in the southwest, with a few acres of unharvested crops in that region. The southeast is in the home stretch of harvest as 94% of the crops have been combined. Harvest is 90% complete in the west central region, while the east central is following closely at 88%. The northwest and northeast have the most crops remaining in the field, with 85 and 81% harvested, respectively. An Indigenous man in Winnipeg has had his name cleared 50 years after being convicted of murdering a restaurant worker. Clarence Woodhouse was acquitted in court today after a review found his conviction was a miscarriage of justice. At the legislature, Justice Minister Matt Wiebe apologized to Woodhouse.
Clarence, I am sorry. Our government is sorry. No one should ever have to endure the torments that you were subjected to.
2 other men convicted in the killing, Brian Anderson and Alan Woodhouse, had their convictions quashed last year. A 4th person, Russell Woodhouse, was also convicted and died in 2011. And Tesla is recalling more than 27,000 Cybertrucks because the rear-view camera image may not activate immediately after shifting into reverse.
Tesla Cybertruck owners are facing another recall, this one due to a problem with the rear view camera. Tesla informed the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that display screens in affected trucks may be blank for up to 8 seconds after the driver shifts into reverse. Government standards require that happen within 2 seconds of shifting. The company's released a free software upgrade to address the issue. This is the 5th recall since Tesla Tesla Cybertrucks went on sale last year. I'm Jackie Quinn.
That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when... Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Winter brings tougher driving weather, and that means it's time to winter up those tires on your vehicle. Regina Motor Products has got an offer that will make your ride safer and your wallet happier. Before you hit the snowy open road, get your tires swapped for winter, with rebates as high as $120 off a full set of winter tires. You don't want to wait. Book now and be ready for all that cold stuff. Visit rmpchevrolet.com.
It's 5:04, and I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather, brought to you by Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Eric Weglars.
It's clear early this evening, otherwise we'll find some increasing clouds after midnight. Lows are back between -3 and -4. Winds from the southwest at 10 to 20. Sunshine will give way to increasing clouds on Friday. Highs return into the upper teens. Winds from the southeast at 15 to 30. Partly cloudy overnight into Saturday. Lows back to 7, warmer than what we see overnight into Friday. And stray showers are possible on Saturday before more sunshine on Sunday. Highs both afternoons in the middle teens. That's the latest look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Eric Weglars.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 12, Swift Current is 12, Assiniboia 14, Yorkton Melville 10, Moosomin Broadview 10, Estevan 14, and Weyburn is 13. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly sunny. Winds are from the northwest at 21, and it's 12 degrees. Regina is also mostly sunny. Winds from the northwest at 22, gusting to 32, and it's 10 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. From now until October 30th, save more with the Autumn Sweet Savings Event. Buy any 2 qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag kitchen appliances, like the Maytag Smart Electric Range with indoor grill, just $16.99, and save an extra $150. Buy 3 or more qualifying Whirlpool or Maytag appliances and save an extra $300. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Last hour of the show. It's Barney Schenker, Sharkey.
It goes by
Colson,
so fast.
Curtis. Here, SaskTel picked the score. We're still playing at 936-6262. What is the score? And the Riders take on the Edmonton Elks this Saturday. Closest one, 2. Also has a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card, but somebody is walking away with 2 tickets to the October 12th game against the BC Lions here at Mosaic Stadium. That is Thanksgiving long weekend already, next weekend.
I know. That's crazy.
Creeping up on us.
It's hunting season.
It's traveling with kids to hockey tournaments.
Once you're done that, it's hunting season.
Are you going to Plentywood?
Not this year. Well, not right now, anyway.
as it stands. If you do, I need something from the grocery store that you only can get in the States. So make sure you hit me up, please. We got still more to come. Dale Duncan Busby, Saskatchewan Roughriders receiver, joining us at about half past the hour, and then a little around the horn with Dave Thomas.
The all-new Sports Cage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glenn Suter is brought to you by Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan, visit qualitytire.ca.
All right, Glenn, clean-shaven Glenn Suter over there. Heard you and Don Hewitt the other day talking about shaving on the program and putting on makeup as TV guys. Don's like, you probably have someone that puts your makeup on, and I was like, it was never that hard. It was just to take the glare off, right? And then it was done like that. Okay, I got a few things to get. to.
I got to do it like.
Yeah, you need something else. Just wear a hat. Sharky, just wear a hat.
I'll go get my hat.
Okay, so we talked about it earlier with Arash Madani, and then we kind of started questioning Hamilton Tiger Cats. There's a possibility of a crossover game where Hamilton plays the Saskatchewan Roughriders at Mosaic Stadium. Trivia question: when was the last time an East crossover happened?
It never has.
Alan Lee was listening to the program, our fill-in producer, the Sheriff, and he messaged that because we were all kind of sitting there looking at each other going,
when?
I don't remember
when?
it.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. But crazy, right, Glenn, where we are. Like, people can slag on the CFL as much as they want, and I've been there before, and it's like, oh, the kind of dumb rules. But when you think like the entertainment value of this league this year and where we are with 3 games left for most teams, it's amazing.
Well, it's been outstanding. It's I would put it up against any sport in the world, really. I mean, and yeah, you can make your argument for the popularity of European soccer and all the different Premier Leagues and things. The NFL obviously is a beast financially, but as far as just pure entertainment, watching guys, put it on the line for their province, their team, their cities, it's been great. I think it's also a trend, though. This is not a one-off season that has been, an outstanding season. I think it's been building like this, and some of the small rule changes have helped, but I wouldn't put them all on that. I just think the league has always been great. I think sometimes the messaging hasn't been. And when you go back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and it was the constant conversation was, it's not the NFL, and therefore it's not as good. And it's not that conversation anymore. The NFL can do what they want to do. We'll do what we want to do. We can be proud of our own thing. And it is, as you mentioned, off the hook entertaining, out of your seat excitement, and opportunities for guys that don't get a chance in the NFL that could play there but don't get the opportunity to.
Where are you as we sit here now into October? Where are you? What are your real thoughts that you can say on a radio / streaming program on the command center?
I have done a 180. Now, listen, I know there's going to be people out there that say, like, they get on politicians when 10 years ago they had a position on some policy and now they've completely flip-flopped. And the
war on drugs. Whatever happened, that right? Wasn't that Nancy Reagan? Politicians used to hammer that.
Isn't she dead now?
Well, no, but I'm just saying, and then the politician went away. Politicians
I think it's still on. They just don't talk about it.
Anyways.
Well, it happens, right? You hear it now, especially down in the States a bunch in these debates and things, that you hear that, a politician has changed his position and therefore I'm not voting for him because he can't make up his mind. Well, that first thought was done 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So to your point about the command center, your question, I have done a 180 on the command center and what I think the role should be. And I hope that they talk about it in the off season. I really do. That I'm ready to even go as far as saying the command center should not be used as a challengeable entity for any subjective call. So whether that means pass interference, offense or defense, roughing the passer, any of these subjective calls where an official on the field looks at it, makes a decision subjectively from his angle.
In real time.
In real time. The command center then takes video of different looks, different angles, and then they make a subjective decision. And their decision is the final decision. It's just, and I would say for the people who say, oh, now you're flip-flopping, and you're right, I have gone 180 on this because I was an advocate of challenging pass interference because of how punitive the penalty can be. It can be a 60, 70-yard penalty. It can put it on the 1-yard line and can change a game just like that. So I thought a challenge to get it right on a pass interference to me would be worthwhile because that penalty can be so punitive. But when I see the inconsistencies, when I see that the officials on the field over all this time now, how many years has it been since we've had the convention? I want to say 10, probably.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah. So over that decade, now we have real data. Now we have a lot of experience in what the command center has become. And the argument of player safety on roughing the passer, I think the focus on the passer is so intense in games by the on-field official, we're not going to miss many of those anyway. I wouldn't worry about that. I think I've gone 180 because of inconsistency of the on-field officials that are in a certain flow of the game. They may be letting a lot go in this game in particular, and the players both sides have understood that, and they're playing the game accordingly. And you guys see that in hockey all the time. Like they get to the playoffs and certain refs call it differently.
Yeah.
But the players understand how they're reading that game, how they're looking at it. So the command center is separate from that feeling. And now they go back to the actual, book and slow it right down and freeze frame it and all of those things. And then they say, well, no, by the letter of the law, this rule is this, and this is going to be overturned. There's enough data now. I think we go back to the command center being used for, was he in or out of bounds? Was it a fumble or not a fumble? Did he score? Did he not score? And possibly for supplemental discipline after the fact. So you could go back and, look at all the angles after the fact. If you're going to try and take money out of someone's pocket for something they did on the field, then as many looks and as much research you can do into that is important. But I've gone 180, guys. If a lot of fans go, he's flip-flopping.
You should run for politics.
No. My question to you then is, do the coaches still have a challenge? And if so, what can they challenge? Because right now I believe they can challenge multiple calls. Can they not?
Yeah, they can challenge pass interference. Do we
leave that in then?
No.
Do we leave?
No. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. I used to think until even this year that pass interference needed to be challengeable because it was a chance to get the best angles to make sure. And if you go back to the 2015 Grey Cup in Winnipeg, Edmonton wins that. Michael Riley was their quarterback. Chris Jones was their coach. Because of a challenge on a pass interference call, that was a big factor in that championship game. So that will be the argument for keeping it. But I think we don't keep it. I think from now, moving forward, and listen, this is not massive changes to the rules of Canadian football. We talked about how entertaining it's been. I'm not talking about changing the game. I'm talking about changing what the command center is allowed to do and what coaches should challenge. So a coach, to answer your question, could challenge that the guy was in bounds. You ruled on the field that he was out of bounds when he made that great catch on the sideline. We want to challenge because we think he was in bounds. We can rule on, it's ruled a fumble on the field. We got the turnover and you ruled the opposite. We want to challenge that because we think the guy fumbled. Those things you can challenge, but not subjective calls where one guy can look at it and say pass interference, and the very same guy can look at exactly the same angles and say it's not pass interference. That is a problem. I think we should get rid of it.
So what I think happened, so I was, to be honest, I'm kind of flip-floppy guy too, because I was like, I think this is great. The NFL should adopt this. And then as I watch both leagues intently, especially if I'm in Sprinkletown, is I think the NFL doesn't have the pass interference review option. I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist guy here. Tinfoil hat's coming on. I think they have it radioed down to the refs in real time because they almost always get the call right. And then a guy, he won't throw a flag, and then all of a sudden a guy tosses it about 4 or 5 seconds later. Then they talk about it. It's like you ever talk to Brad Meyer, NHL ref, and all that, and he's like, oh no, we look at that clock.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad, if you're listening. Chuck you under the bus. But I think that the refs get together and they're buying them time in the NFL command center, so to speak, and then they make the right call. I think the CFL could do that.
I just agree with Glenn entirely on the point of the command center shouldn't make calls on subjective calls on the play, on a offensive or defensive penalty, whatever the call might be. They can touch on a touchdown, they can touch on in or out of bounds, catch or no catch, fumble, no fumble, right? Turnovers. But they should never look at a turnover and go, and by the way, we've got a pass interference call, right? They should never give that information back to the field.
No, and they really can't now. I mean, that's part of it now.
Didn't they do that in the Rider game against Ottawa? Where there was a turnover, and all of a sudden we got a roughing the quarterback.
Yeah,
that roughing the quarterback with a player safety thing is possibly discovered. Yes, so you're right. There is moments now, and it kept expanding over the years. That if we can challenge this and we got it right that time, then maybe we should do more. Like little things too, like no yards. I mean, really. We're gonna stop the game, have the fans in the stadium go, what's going on, because of a no yards? Like this is stuff that it's just the pendulum swung too far. But the crux of replay is for roughing the passer and pass interference. That's been our two areas of I would say contention, but even inconsistencies in that. So because gentlemen, I've sat in the rules committee meeting, and Wally Buono, John Huffnagel, guys like that are we look at a replay of a pass interference call from the previous season, and then we go around the table and everyone has a chance to say, what do you think? Was it pass interference or was it not pass interference? And that room will be divided in the middle. Half the group will say yes, and half the group will say no. And if that's the case, then why are we stopping the game? Why don't we just trust the on-field officials? And if they get it wrong, and we look at it after the fact and they get it wrong, so be it. Players get it wrong. Broadcasters get it wrong. So do coaches. And why do we have to try to find a ref that's perfect? Forget it.
That would be good. I'll go radio first. And good TV to be in that meeting. Going into next year, they should promote that somehow. And I know there's you can't against people, Netflix. But that's what people want. Yeah. Well, what's the Canadian version of Netflix? Do we have one yet? No.
TSN,
CBC.
Yeah.
Or they're playing the Beachcombers. But that is what I want to, that's what behind the scenes, look like that would be really good. And like Glenn says, half the room is divided, and it's like, how we get into that. And then I would like to see them go through some of the plays in question from this year. So I just thought that was very interesting. Okay, Glenn, are we ever going to can we see a defensive player win the MOP?
Well, to me, the MOP is Roland Milligan, and
put the graphic up, guys.
Yeah, and that's awesome because, I've said on this show that he probably doesn't because most of the media across the country, and this is not a shot at media, it's just the way it is.
Damn media.
Well, no, but they vote for the guys that are scoring touchdowns. They vote for the guys that are, catching 1,000 yards worth of, passes on the year, or the guy who's throwing it for 4,000 or 5,000. And Levi Mitchell is in the discussion, and so is Brady Oliveira. We've talked about that. But this idea that a defensive player is almost ignored or not even considered because we think, well, we'll put him in the defensive category. Well, if he's having the best season of almost any player in the league in his position, then he should be in the discussion of MOP regardless of what side of the ball he plays on. This goes back to when I've said many times on the air in a TSN broadcast, the defense is allowed to win, because I hear our own panel sometimes say, well, there's no scoring in the first half and it's a bad game. Well, it's not a bad game because there's no scoring. It's just a low-scoring game because the defenses are winning. And, guys, I ask other players in the league and other coaches in the league about their thoughts on MLP, and many have said, and in fact one, and I won't name him right now, but one has said he thinks Roland Milligan is the best football player in the league, regardless of position.
So was the last time a defensive player won? Was the last time a defensive player won MOP Solomon Aluminium? Yeah, aluminum.
Hague, Saskatchewan.
Aluminium.
Yeah, wasn't he the last most when he was with BC?
Yeah, you know what? I haven't looked it up, but I kept thinking that it hasn't happened, not in the last decade. And I even bring it up because it's almost not a consideration. If you talk about a guy from the defensive side of the ball that has 18 sacks in a season, like Matthew Betts did last year, it's a lot of people that get votes are automatically saying, well, yes, but we'll nominate him for defensive player. He was the best defensive player. So we'll give him that nomination for sure. But if he's the best player in the league or one of them, then why not put him in the category? Roland Milligan has been the best all-around football player in the league this year. And that, to me, makes him the MOP, the outstanding player. And I think to not allow defensive players into that discussion for some reason, or not vote for him because a guy had 1,000 yards, that's 1,000 yards is the base you should be looking at for a receiver or running back.
Solomon's the only defensive player.
I was going to have a trivia question. You ruined it.
Okay, since when?
Yeah,
Say his last name.
How long ago was it, though? How long ago was it? Because I can't remember.
2014.
Yeah, 2014. 10 years ago.
Yeah, a decade ago. Yeah, so
I was
going
to ask who was the first.
Solomon Aluminium.
Yeah. I'm glad you're trying to say it. It's a hard thing to roll off the tongue.
Aluminium.
That's right.
Yeah, I did it right.
I know it's hard though.
Yeah. The only one.
That's
crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah.
You were talking about this, and I can't remember. I heard you, but it's that time of the year where discipline matters so much. Coach Mace has been trying to stress it from day one here. It's just, I hope it doesn't for the Riders, as the Rider fan in me, hope it doesn't come up where it's important now. Like, you got to stay disciplined.
And it's the most difficult time of year to get it done, because I think as soon as the playoffs start and we know which teams are in it, those playoff teams get it on almost automatically. They know at that moment, if we lose this game, we're going home. And so therefore we have to be real disciplined and not take dumb penalties. And that kicks in immediately when the playoffs begin. But the 3 or 4 games before the playoffs, which is where we are now, which could in this particular year mean that the Riders are in or not in, or the Lions are in or not in. I mean, it's a logjam, as you know. So this is the time of year that the most disciplined teams will win their playoff spots, possibly win a home playoff game. And it is the most important aspect, I think, because they're all good at this point. They've all won some close ones, lost some close ones. They've all gone through some winning runs and some losing skids. So now what is going to separate them when we decide where they land in the playoffs? The guys that take the fewest dumb penalties are going to advance and host playoff games, or advance and get to the playoffs and then start winning them.
You guys ever had that buddy or that wife that always seems to know, and it's like, no, now it's right. Like, let's go Google. Gotta love them. Dave Thomas texted when we were just doing that little thing there. Harold Edward Patterson, nicknamed Prince Hal. You're shaking your head. American college basketball player at the University of Kansas and a professional Canadian football player at the Canadian League's Montreal Alouettes and Hamilton Tiger Cats. He won it in 1956.
But he played both ways, offense and defense.
Still?
No, he played both ways.
Yeah. Defensive back and offensive end.
So he was a tight end and a defensive back.
Okay, let's go to the command center. See what they say. Is that a correct answer?
Guys, you know what happened with that one? That one, all the media said, well, because he played offense, then he's in the discussion.
Prince Hal. Interesting weekend coming up here. Going, what games are you? Oh, by the way, I heard the interview with Don, the professor, the other day. Bravo to you, as a guy who spent some time in TV land. And then just knowing what you guys have to do to get ready for a game, doesn't matter what sport. Wow. I don't know how you pulled that up. How much sleep did you get?
A good solid hour and a half. And
like at a hotel, or like airport chair lay down, weirdo sleeping in the corner guy?
Yeah, almost. No, it was a hotel that is. It was the hotel that is actually in the airport in Vancouver. So right after the Lions game, get there at about 1:30 in the morning by the time you wrap everything up, and then up by 4. But, the first hour and a half, I'm staring at the ceiling going through every single thing I said in the Lions game. Going through the rules and my pass interference discussion and all of that. So, there's that. Hard to get to sleep. You got to get up to get to the next one. But, the tricky part for that game was that I didn't know I was going to do it. Like, today I'll be working on the Rider game for Saturday. I'll be working on the BC game for Friday. But I know I'm doing both, and I have all week. So yesterday I did some work on it. The day before I did some work on it. But I got this call just before kickoff of the Vancouver game on Friday night. And it was like, okay, I got to look at the rosters. I haven't looked at the depth chart for today.
Who was your play-by-play guy?
That was Marshall in Regina. Marshall Ferguson. Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd be. You got to do some heavy lifting today, Marshall. I guess as I'm coming in here. That is awesome. Glenn, thanks so much. Have a less hectic weekend for you, and then we'll catch up on Tuesday.
Sounds good, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, Glenn.
Glenn Sear. It's amazing, though, how he had pull that around like that.
And TV's different than radio.
TV's way different than radio.
But in terms of being, you can do a lot more when you're on radio, looking up stuff than you can on TV, right?
You can be shirtless. You don't have to look respectable.
You can skip the makeup on your head. Yeah.
Well, that was that press coverage. Glenn Suter for Quality Tire. Be a part of things here if you're watching the stream, sportscage.com, or if you're listening on the radio, home of the Rider, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Busy Bee Doors. Busy Bee will repair or replace your residential or commercial garage doors so you don't get stuck in or out. Catch the buzz. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
On this week's show, we're going to take you back to the year 1995. Charlie Major was hot stuff. Terry Clark was releasing some monster hits, and there were some newcomers as well making their way onto the charts. We'll get to that and more on Country Music Rewind.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's greatest hits, 620 CKRM.
It's fall, so there's going to be a lot of driving the kids around. But when you load up the family car with your kids' friends, dogs, and electronics for everyone, there's one thing you may be forgetting. Make sure you have tires that are ready to handle the rigors of your constant errands with a quick trip to Quality Tire. They have tires from the brands you trust, and their experts know which tires are right for your vehicle. Get quality selection, prices, and service at Quality Tire, with 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. PV Mart wants to thank our customers for their loyalty through these challenging times. To say thank you, we want to invite you back into your local PV Mart to shop our Fall Customer Appreciation Event. From Friday, October 4th to Thursday, October 10th, you will save 10 to 50% store-wide, plus greater super savings in our massive Customer Appreciation Days flyer. Shop in-store or online to save on everything you need for this fall and winter. PV Mart would like to thank you for your support and for shopping 100% Canadian-owned retail.
Hardware and a whole lot more.
Offers cannot be combined. No discounts on feed and gift cards.
Riley Green, live.
Doing things a little different, Ray.
The Damn Country Music Tour.
Damn country music.
March 30th, Brant Center.
Damn country music.
With Ella Langley.
You look like you.
Jake Worthington and Eric Dillon. On sale now at livenation.com.
Now it's grandpa's never died.
Don't miss Riley Green.
There she is. There.
What are you waiting for?
Guns jammed.
We'd better get to TNT Gunworks.
TNT Gunworks in Regina is your trusted source in Saskatchewan for guns, ammunition, hunting supplies, and has an on-site gunsmith that services rifles and shotguns. They've got the biggest selection and the best price.
Son of a gun.
That's the spirit.
Stop in at TNT Gunworks just off Albert on 4th Avenue North, Regina.
Get the farm equipment you need at upcoming Ritchie Brothers farm sales this fall. Ritchie Brothers is hosting close to 20 farm auctions between October 9th and December 12th. For the latest auction schedule, visit rbauction.com. Choose from hundreds of farm equipment items, including combines, tractors, trucks, headers, trailers, farmland, and much more. Register for free, then bid online at rbauction.com.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620
And welcome back to the all-new
CKRM.
Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream at sportscage.com or on the radio 620 CKRM, thanks for joining us. Still more to come. Sharky and I are going to talk a little baseball, go around the horn here. But let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline right now. We teed it up earlier talking to Saskatchewan Roughrider receiver Del Duncan Busby. All right. I wanted to start maybe with last week's game first, but I'm going to start with today. And it actually snowed in Regina. You're wearing a toque if anyone's watching on the stream. Were you guys out there when the snow started coming down?
The snow wasn't too bad. When I first walked out and got out of my car, I was like, "Ooh, it's a little bit of snow out there right now." But yeah, no, we was outside though.
You're a Vancouver guy, right? You're a West Coast guy.
Yep.
Okay, so what are you preparing for weather-wise in Sasky, I guess, for the next month? It's kind of because it can be anything.
So I went to a school in northern Minnesota. So for the most part, it was basically kind of the same. I've been telling everybody I'm used to this weather just like 2 weeks from now. I'm not really used to it right now. But, I mean, honestly, it's just the same preparation as much as possible to stay as warm as possible.
I wanted to talk about Bemidji since you led me into that. Let's talk about Bemidji State. A lot of guys go there from around here to play hockey. It's a big hockey school. Is hockey the predominant sport there, or where does football rank?
I'd like to change. I like to think that we changed that a little bit. I like to think that us making it to the playoffs the last 3 years kind of changed the narrative that it is a little bit more of a football school than it is a hockey school. But I'm sure that a lot of people would disagree.
Right on. Okay, so this past weekend, your first CFL start. Were there any nerves, anything different than that, or was it just another game?
Obviously, there was a little bit of nerves as the first start as a professional football player. I like to think that I did my job as much as possible. I did a lot of preparation and stuff like that throughout the week. The coaching staff, they put me in a pretty good spot to be able to make plays when I did have the opportunities and stuff like that. And then obviously Trevor trusting me in making those plays.
Yeah, like how close, I guess, is the receiving group, and then how close are you guys with Trevor? Because it seems, he's pretty dialed. When he's dialed, you can see, right? Like he doesn't scramble. He's not the scrambler guy, but he can pick defenses apart. His high IQ must be so high, and that must translate into you guys as a group.
Yeah, for sure. As a group, I mean, we're pretty close. Obviously, we have like a lot of different things that we kind of do outside of a lot of messing around and stuff like that. But in terms of like being in the building and stuff like that and building stuff with Trevor, like we meet with the quarterbacks. So we kind of get to hear what they're thinking and stuff like that. And then they can also kind of pick our brains as to how we might run a certain route depending on what we may see and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, the coaches have put us in a pretty good spot to be able to build that kind of camaraderie with the quarterback.
For yourself, now that you started last week, you're playing, we're looking ahead to Edmonton here, like a day like today where you practiced and then now, I'm sure you maybe did a workout or some therapy sessions or whatnot. Like tonight, will you study? Will you kind of look through game tape? Will you look through the playbook? What will you do on a day like today, nighttime wise?
On a day like today, I mean, typically I like to get in like my rehab stuff, probably get a little massage today just to kind of flush out the lactic acid out of and stuff like that. Obviously there's a little bit, I'll watch practice today. I'll kind of watch a little bit more in depth as to like who I'm specifically going to be going up against. But I mean, shoot, today's my birthday, so I'm also going to celebrate that a little bit.
Well, happy birthday! Right on. Maybe a nice supper and some kind of cake this evening. Is the team doing anything for you? Are the fellows doing anything?
They splashed me with water at the end of practice, but that's about it. My girlfriend's out here right now, so her and I are just gonna go have a little dinner.
Little romantic birthday dinner. I love it. That's good. What do you when you look at Edmonton? Obviously, you guys are on a mini heater here. 2 games, big game. As far as playoff implications and all that go. When you look at Edmonton as a defense, what are you seeing there?
I mean, they play hard. They're definitely an aggressive group. I mean, even just talking with some of the guys that played them in the first 2 games and stuff like that, like they definitely bring it to you. They're not willing to like shy off and stuff like that. So just being able to kind of use their aggression against them is kind of where I'm hoping to kind of use against them and stuff like that.
Yeah. We talked about this on the show earlier this week. So for you, you had 7 receptions in your first start. Spreading it around, MLS had 7, Keyshawn had 6, and then it trickled down from there. So not just focusing, like Trevor doesn't just focus on 1 or 2 receivers, right? It seems like it's so spread out, which is hard for defenses. It's like, now who do we key on? And then you got who knows who at running back with the Riders. So for receivers, you guys always have to be on your toes just because there isn't like a set guy, so to speak?
I wouldn't say like be on our toes. Like we all kind of understand like who's supposed to get the ball when and stuff like that. And obviously being able to kind of make adjustments as the pieces are moving and stuff like that. So for the most part, like, I mean, it does make it hard for a defense to be able to go, we're just going to go after Sam. We're just going to go after Keyshawn and Kian or myself and stuff like that. So we like having that variety in our room.
Is there one veteran that's helped you maybe more so than anyone else this year, first year with the Riders as a pro?
So I room with Keyshawn. So, I mean, obviously he had a little bit of a tenure down south and stuff like that playing in the NFL. So I've used his experiences and kind of, I mean, some of his experiences are the same as what I went through, especially at the start of the season. So just being able to mentally focus and stuff like that, that was kind of where I was really leaning on his expertise and his advice and stuff like that.
Okay, maybe the last one. I got to ask you, who's your favorite receiver of all time?
Oh, see, are you talking down south? I mean, anything. Okay. Honestly, I like Julio. Julio has always been big. Obviously being in Minnesota, you got the Randy Moss and stuff like that. To be honest, I started playing football real late, so I didn't really get to watch, especially growing up and stuff like that. So, I mean, in the modern day, it's definitely Justin Jefferson. As of right now, it's JJ. He's killing it down there. He's by far easily, in my opinion, the best wide receiver down south.
Well, and look what the Vikings are doing, right? 5-0 maybe this week after the Jets. Is Minnesota your kind of adopted NFL team now?
Yes, but I'm a Panthers fan, so I mean it's been a little bit tough sledding recently. But I mean, definitely being out in Minnesota, you definitely learn to love them.
Andy Dalton, right on the Red Rifle. Why did you start football? Why did you start football so late, and at what age did you start?
So I didn't play my first season until my senior year of high school. I was playing basketball and stuff like that. So that was when I moved down south to the States my sophomore year of high school, and kind of the introduction to football was my junior year, and then my actual season was senior year. So real late bloomer.
How did somebody just see you playing basketball or say, hey, we got to get that guy on the football field somehow? How did you end up playing the game?
It was like kind of like a storybook movie kind of thing. I walked on to the campus and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, I mean, the head coach must have seen me, the football team, and was like, hey, you ever thought about playing football? No, I haven't, not at all. And then he's like, well, maybe you should come give it a try. And I was like, all right, bet.
Wow, always a receiver?
Yes, well, I actually played corner a little bit too, but I definitely took more pride in playing receiver.
Right on. All right. Hey, well, I can't believe you took the time today on your birthday to hang out with us. So I hope the night's awesome, and obviously best of luck this weekend. Everyone's rooting for you. Let's go get that win in Edmonton.
Yes, sir. Thank you. My pleasure.
Right on. Del Duncan Busby joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Go Riders, right? It's his birthday. How cool is that out there? Rider fans and Sportscage fans. Still more to come if you're watching on the stream. Sportscage.com, and as always, on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Car enthusiasts can argue about what's best between German engineering, Italian design, and Japanese manufacturing quality. Tires, though, are much less subjective. Introducing the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tire, Michelin's #1 max performance summer tire. Proof that performance is universal. Genuine passion, exceptional drives. Visit Quality Tire with 9 locations in Saskatchewan for the performance your car deserves.
See Michelin.ca/PS4S for testing results.
QualityTire.ca. Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a road trip to Edmonton to see the Oilers, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Get the farm equipment you need at upcoming Ritchie Brothers farm sales this fall. Ritchie Brothers is hosting close to 20 farm auctions between October 9th and December 12th. For the latest auction schedule, visit rbauction.com. Choose from hundreds of farm equipment items, including combines, tractors, trucks, headers, trailers, farmland, and much more. Register for free, then bid online at rbauction.com.
Freeze Tallman wants you to get her done before winter. They can save you time and hassle by delivering your building materials directly to your home or cottage. They have brown-treated lumber, composite decking, aluminum railing, fencing, landscaping material, everything you need to finish your outdoor building projects before snow falls. Visit freeze-tolman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tolman. Let's get you building.
Stay connected with us any time of the day. Call or text us 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
We have covered a lot of ground.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of ground today. As we mentioned it earlier in the program, last night, Regina Pats Canadians, a 4-2 win.
I thought you said it was 7-4.
7-4 win over Estevan.
Oh my goodness.
Where did I get 4-2 from?
I don't know.
What would he do without you, Sharky?
Yeah. What happens when I'm not here? That's what I want to know.
Pat Canadians with a 2-1 win over Estevan last night. It was 7-4 against, they were both undefeated. Going into that one. I'm just trying to find out. Estevan's got a name, and I want to give a shout out because it's the Great Northern Bears. That's what it is. That's what it is. Eli Johnson for the Pat Canadians is our clutch performer for Nick Service and Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Eli Johnson, like I said, shout out, former backshop kid at the Royal Regina.
Prince George Cougar draft pick.
Prince George Cougar draft pick. 2-2.
Nice.
Last night. Pat Canadians are now atop the U18 AAA standings. 3 wins, 0 losses. Followed by my alma mater, Saskatoon Contacts. 2-0.
I was waiting for it.
2-0. It says the Blazers haven't played a game yet this year. I guess it is early in the old season. It's kind of a double negative. Blazers though, they're always a wagon now. I feel like Blazers, Pat Canadians.
Is that where you're going?
No, Contacts are good this year too though. Great Northern Bears and Estevan.
Coming around. Yep.
Nothing wrong with a little U18 AAA hockey. If you're looking for hockey in the region this evening, it is in Notre Dame, College of Notre Dame, Wilcox, Saskatchewan. Nipawin Hawks are in town to take on the Hounds after they lose last night to Flin Flon 4-2. That's where the 4-2 score came into the old noodle there. Braden Yeager was named captain of the Moose Jaw Warriors today.
Rightfully so. Should have been.
36th captain in franchise history. If you haven't gone to sportscage.com, if you're not watching the stream and you haven't gone to sportscage.com, you can go and check out the WHL top 10 there as well as the SJHL. We had the SJHL report yesterday with Benny Walchuk. Benny Walchuk said the Saudi mainline motor worth the drive game this weekend.
Melfort and Melville.
Melfort and Melville. Home and home.
I like it.
Home and home. Home and home. Saudi, thanks to Saudi mainline Chrysler in Saudi, worth the drive every time, guaranteed. We should get out to a couple of SJ games this year.
I love SJ games. Yep.
I think we're at Yorkton, Melville.
Yeah.
Weyburn, Estevan.
Those were great battles every time. Every time.
Flin Flon, somebody.
I would imagine their biggest rivals Nipawin or L'Orange, one of the two.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nipawin and
I've never been to the Whitney Forum. Never.
We talked about that, and I know Kyle McIntyre and the boys from GW are trying to figure out a weekend that would work for us to go up and do a live show there.
Wow.
But they wanted to go early. They wanted to go, like, I think it was Grey Cup weekend or weekend, knock on wood, that the Riders will host the West Semi.
It's not going to work.
And I'm like, that will not work.
No.
Plus, Curtis is getting his new computer system and all that.
He's getting new stuff over there? What are we doing?
A mic that echoes less.
No.
He
different headphones.
So we got to make sure that's all buttoned up before we can really take this thing on the road. But the Whitney Forum, I want to talk to the moose leg guy. Who cuts the moose leg?
Do you think it's just one?
One guy?
One guy. Or do you think it's kind of a
family?
Could be a committee.
Moose leg committee.
Yeah.
Flin Flon Moose.
That's
moose
a
leg
lot of
committee.
responsibility just for one guy to manage the moose leg.
Not really.
Do you think it's a new moose leg or is it just a frozen throne again?
Frozen throne again.
That's where I'm at. I know there's like lots of moose there and there's lots of guys that hunt, but you don't want to take a chance and miss one year and nobody brings their moose leg to the game. So I think it's frozen throne again.
So how many do you think they go through in a year? Just one?
Yeah.
No.
I think it's the same one.
I think they would maybe have...
If you're listening in Flin Flon, could you please send us a note telling us how many moose
Actually,
legs
give us
you
the
get?
guy's number. We'd like to get him on the radio or the show, the stream.
That would be pretty cool. Talk to the moose leg guy.
Baseball is underway now.
Don't they throw out jackfish in Orange? What do they throw up there?
Pair of sweats. I don't know.
Old runners.
Dumbest thing that came to my brain. An old boot. Is this live? Yeah.
This is live.
Bottom of the third.
Bottom of the third, scoreless.
Scoreless between the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. This is a third and deciding game. What are you yelling at me for?
We got around the horn.
So
that means we got to go? I wanted to talk Farmer's Almanac. I guess I have to do that tomorrow.
You got 60 seconds.
You wanted to talk civic elections, too.
Oh, civic election. I have no idea. I'm not going to get political here. Who cares? I'm like,
Colson's just shaking his head.
The thing is, I was thinking today, I have no idea who to vote for. I have no idea what they stand for. I have no idea what their policies want to be. I don't know what so I see because I see the signs up.
Yeah.
And this is a plug for radio. People are like, radio. That's a great way to advertise heavy right now. If you are a civic, if you're looking in the civic election, because you're top of mind, and then people can actually hear what you're all about instead of just the brand. I mean, I get the brand thing too. It's like, I saw that person's name once. Check it off. It rhymes with this. I'm going to vote for him.
You should never stop thinking about advertising because Coca-Cola owns 90% of the beverage rights in the world, and they still advertise more than anybody else. They never want to stop being number one.
Remember when we were
at
that meeting and somebody goes, I don't need to advertise. I'm so busy. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call Tim Hortons. Let them know.
They're busy. They're done. They don't need any more.
Home Depot, Walmart, you guys are dumb.
Why are you spending money? Everybody's there.
What a fun show, buddy.
Thank you.
It's
always good. Yep.
As always. Were you looking for a handshake?
Nope.
Fist pump?
Nope. Oh, I'll take a fist bump.
Curtis Colson, good job.
They're the reason this works out.
Meh.
They're the reason.
I am back tomorrow with
an assortment.
Plethora of guests and hosts. There's going to be 3 of us instead of just 2. At one point, there'll be 3. And a former 620 CKRM employee is going to be one of the hosts tomorrow.
It's not Willie Cole.
That is a tease. For you, have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good job, everybody.
It's time to go around the horn for Shorty Generators. Keep the power in your hands with an automatic standby generator from Shorty Generators, the standby generator experts. Major League Baseball's postseason opened with 4 wildcard series back on Tuesday, and 3 of the 4 ended in 2-game sweeps. In the American League, Detroit surprised Houston with a 5-2 win in Game 2 last night to advance to the divisional round. Meantime, Kansas City edged Baltimore 2-1 yesterday to complete the sweep of their set. So, the best-of-5 divisional round is ready to go in the American League starting on Saturday. Detroit will travel to Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Meantime, in the Bronx, the New York Yankees will host the Kansas City Royals. Over on the senior circuit, San Diego upended Atlanta 5-4 yesterday to take that series in the minimum 2 games for the series win. The Padres will now face the Dodgers in one of 2 National League divisional series. The lone wildcard set yet to be determined. We'll have the New York Mets meeting Milwaukee in a 1-game showdown later tonight. The Brewers kept their season alive with a 5-3 win yesterday. The winner will face the Philadelphia Phillies in the divisional round, a set that will open in the city of brotherly love on Saturday. And that's Around the Horn for Shorty Generators. Keep the power in your hands with an automatic Standby generator from Shorty Generators, the standby generator experts.
The Gleaner S98 is the culmination of a century of unique design and performance, adding more harvest performance through operator comfort, new technology, and simplified serviceability. The Gleaner S98 is a combine designed to propel your business forward. Gleaner's simple design drastically reduces compaction and increases fuel savings. Learn more about the Gleaner S98 at Nick's Service in Emerald Park or visit them online at nickservice.com.